What a wonderful Wednesday afternoon. How are you? And welcome to the Jason Gregor Show, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, as well as coming to you live on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, Twitch. Hello, Twitchers. I'm not even sure if that's the right term, but that's what you are. How you doing? It is the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca, where you can get your tickets for Lotto 649 tonight, $18 million gold bog jackpot, and the classic jackpot of $5 million. No one won the Lotto Max last night, so Fridays will be $55 million. The Mark Letestu of lotteries. Last night, you heard it right there. Connor McDavid scored his fourth penalty shot goal. He is now tied for fifth all-time in NHL history for most penalty shots scored, as he is at 4. The NHL record is 7. Could he get 3 more in his career? Well, with his speed, there's always going to be chances for McDavid to separate from the rest of the league. There's no question there, and we will see. Pavel Bure, in case you're wondering, he and Brad Marchand are the leaders in penalty shot goals with 7. Mario Lemieux has 6. Vinny Lecavalier has 5. And then McDavid is tied with Evgeny Dadonov, David Vaborny. I can't believe David Vaborny, who wasn't even in the league that long, has 4 penalty shot goals. Matt Sundin, Joe Sakic, and Charlie Conacher. LT's the only guy who watched Charlie Conacher live, at least amongst anybody on our station, I would think. So McDavid, a hat trick. That's the 14th hat trick of his career, which moves him 1 ahead of Mark Messier. He now trails on the Oilers hat trick list Glenn Anderson, Yari Curry. They each had 20. And then Wayne Gretzky, a little ways to go there. The great one had 43 hatties as a member of the Oilers. That's just as a member of the Oilers. So not bad night as McDavid just continues to play very well. And you look at his season here recently, he's on a heater. A real big heater. So he's on a 16-game point streak. He's got 39 points in 16 games. That is the most points that McDavid has ever had in a streak that lasts at least 10 games. The most prior was when he had 37 points in his 17-game point streaks. Now he's had 17-game point streaks twice in his career. He could tie that tomorrow night in Winnipeg. The Edmonton Oilers, I wouldn't say they're rolling by any stretch of imagination. They have been playing better. But compared to the Winnipeg Jets, it is night and day. The Jets are winless in their last 10 games, 0-6-4. They have lost, I think it's 12 of 13 or 13 of 14. Like it is a brutal ride here for the Winnipeg Jets. They're 2-9-5 in their last 16 games. Like it is a tough run if you're a Winnipeg Jets fan. And these guys were the President's Trophy winners last year. They had 56 wins last season. They have 34 points right now. 35. They got a point last night. They blew a 2-0 lead. Then they blew a 3-2 lead late, and then they lose it in overtime. And there's been games where they've played quite well. So now they can't win. And I would argue that their season is on the brink of being over. I know there's the St. Louis Blues of 2019. So you're telling me there's a chance? Yeah, there's a chance. The Jets are actually 1-9-4 in their last 10 games, dating back basically a full month since December 6th. Not good. Meanwhile, the Oilers are 9-5-1 in that span. So they've gained 13 points on the Jets in the last 15 games. Ouch. So every team in the NHL in that time has at least double digits in points. The other team struggling, the Anaheim Ducks. They're 4-9-2. But the Jets only have 6 points. And their offense has dried up. They're only averaging 2.5 goals per game in that span. And for a team that was number one in goals against last year, they can't stop a beach ball right now. And it's not just goaltending. They are giving up a ton. And then last night, you had that scary incident with Fleury. I don't know if you saw it or not, but just slid in hard to the end board, broke his nose, and has a bruised back. So that's good news. It's nothing worse than that. But if you saw the highlight of it, it was not a pretty play by any stretch of the imagination. So, but it was pretty for the Oilers. The opening goal from McDavid takes the pass from Draisaitl to Bouchard, just comes in full speed around the defender. Saros has no chance. Then he has the penalty shot goal, and then he scores. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins picks up his 500th career assist last night for the Edmonton Oilers. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins has obviously carved out an incredible career with Edmonton. He's got 782 points. Needs 228 more points to reach 1,000. And very quietly, hasn't been talked about a ton this year. But if you look at Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, he's having the second best season of his career. A few years ago, of course, he had 104 points. Nugent-Hopkins on a point-a-game pace right now, 34 points in 34 games. He had that 104-point season. His next best season was when he had 69 points in 82 games. He also had 67 points in 80 games. Now, he did miss 9 games this year, so he's not going to play the full 82. But he is on pace right now to be over 70 points, have his second best season. It's had a solid year for the Oilers. That line really going. Man, they could have had a few more chances. Zach Hyman last night, I wonder how much his wrist, like how much limitations are on his wrist, because, you know, there was just a few shot attempts last night that looked kind of awkward for him. And so I just wonder if at times there's still some issues. Like you're ready to play, but you're not fully functional in your wrist. Also, I look at, I thought Curtis Lazar, that line, I thought had a really good game. Adam Henrique played 2 shifts, did not return, and he is going to be out for, I think he might be out till the Olympic break. I won't be surprised. And so then that gives him an extra 3 weeks after that. So Curtis Lazar, I think you kind of lock it in. He's a right shot who's good in faceoffs and kills penalties. I think you lock it in. He's their 4th line center now, is Curtis Lazar. And I would guess Trent Frederick gets back in the lineup to play with Janmark. Frederick can play the right side. Now, it might be Mangiapane. We'll see. Those 2 guys might rotate, but there's no one else that you're going to take out of the lineup quickly. So I look at the Oilers, and, you know, Roslovic played with Howard and Savoy at times after Henrique got knocked out of the game, and they had some pretty good shifts. So they'll stay together, at least for the time being, right? Now, Roslovic isn't a natural center. I think they like him better as a winger, but for now, he'll probably play there. They'll keep the top 2 lines together, and away they go. I know, and I got texts coming in already at 833-401-1440. We got a lot of texts coming in about Alex Regula. Everybody's upset. You don't need a whipping boy. You don't need it. Everybody last year said Ty Emberson, not very good. Get rid of him. Calm your jets, for goodness sakes. First-year players in the NHL, it can be tough. Look at Ty Emberson this year compared to last year. A lot more poised, a lot more confident. Looks good. He's like, hey, this guy's a very sound and solid third-pair defenseman. And Regula has better puck skills. Not using him right now. And, you know, he's playing up in the lineup. Probably should be in your third pair. But due to the injury to Jake Wallman, he's playing a little above himself. Relax. Stop calling players garbage and junk and terrible. He's struggling, yes. It's his first year after a guy took over a year off of hockey, rehabbing an injury. It's tough. So Jake Wallman will be back Probably next Tuesday in Nashville, I would think. Be my guess. Could play, I guess, in Chicago. But then they play. Are you going to play in back-to-back games coming off the injury? You could. Might not be the best decision. So that's why I'm going to lean to next Tuesday for Jake Walman. And they'll go from there. But the Oilers, hey, they beat Nashville. That's what they do. They've improved to 14-1-1 in their last 16 against the Preds. Leon Draisaitl, another 3 points against the Preds. McDavid, another 3 points against the Preds. And they're dominating. And very quietly, not only has Connor McDavid got himself back in the scoring race, he's got 75 points. Nathan MacKinnon has 74. McKinnon does have one game in hand. The Avs lost last night again. Now, when I say again, they've only lost 2 in a row. But for them, when they'd only lost 2 regulation games prior to that in the first 40 games, and now they've lost their first 2 in the next 40-game stretch. Got some injuries. Devon Taves, Landeskog. I know it's Blackwood again, not dressed. So, the Avs are still good. Don't get me wrong. But I wonder. McDavid has closed the gap, not only in points, but also for the Rocket. He's now 7 back of McKinnon in the goal-scoring department. And I think it's like the Art Ross is wide open. The Rocket is like 7 goals is a pretty good. It's different than 7 points. You get on a big heater, get some assists, and away you go. But 7 goals, I'm not counting them out. But that's an interesting sidebar race between those two. I know Nikita Kucherov is on fire lately as well, and he's moved up to 61 points. He's played a few fewer games, but if you look at it, to gain since December 1st, McDavid has 10 more points than Kucherov, 9 more than McKinnon. That's in the last 15 games for Kucherov, 17 games for McKinnon and McDavid. Is Kucherov going to gain 14 points down the stretch? It's pretty hard to do, considering McDavid has outscored him by 10 just in the last month and 7 days. So Kucherov's really heated up. Not a huge surprise to me. He's an elite player. But when you're talking the elites of the elites, it's hard to make up 14 points. Now, McDavid did it on McKinnon. So it's not impossible. But Kucherov would have to do it on both guys. That would be pretty challenging. So the Oilers will go into Winnipeg. We'll touch on that. Today, Mike Rupp will join us. We're also going to continue our NFL playoff preview. Of course, we'll go with Connor Halley. We welcome Connor Halley back to the show, talking about his Chargers. Rich Winter will join us at 3 o'clock. If you got kids in sports, if you're part of an association, I think you're going to want to listen to our interview with Sue Taylor from the Interval House of Canada. Very interesting platform that they have going for young sports teams. I think it's an important conversation, because if we're scared to have the conversation, nothing's ever going to improve. And I think it's a very good conversation to have. So we'll talk about that in the business of sport. Tyler Remchuk will be by. We got Spec, Tyson Nash. Oh, we're going to have to talk to Nasher about his, man, he was just getting ripped about his haircut. Then I saw it. I'm like, I don't think it was that bad. I couldn't believe people are just freaking out about it on Prime. They didn't love Nasher's haircut. So we'll talk to him about it. How much grief is he getting? We'll see. And the Utah Mammoth, can they stay in the hunt without Logan Cooley? And he's obviously it's been coming up on almost a month now. That could be a good sign. If they're still in it when he comes back, that's a huge boost for them. Conman, how was the abbreviated little trip?
It was good, Jason. A little sketchy leaving Edmonton, heading towards Jasper. We debated turning around. The roads were just awful. Cars in the ditch. We saw some first responders out there taking care of things. Shout out to them. But once we actually got past, let's just say I don't even know, Wobbleman, it actually cleared up, and it was great out in Jasper. Tough to see some of the things, obviously, with the wildfires that they had going back a couple summers ago. You see it, right? There's houses being rebuilt and businesses, and the trees are just skeletons of what they once were. But cool to get out there, enjoy some family time, and have a good little vacation, just a little bit of time away, ready to go once again here, though. Ready for the playoffs.
Oh, yeah. No, a little break, a little recharge, and away you go. And now you've got all the nervousness leading up to the Chargers game this weekend. I'm sure did you take some time, or were you breaking it down on your holidays?
I take a little time off. I think the matchup, and we always talk about football, the matchup is in the trenches, and usually it's because of two good teams. Well, the Chargers' offensive line is absolutely awful. And if there's a matchup that might be good for them, not saying the Patriots' D line is bad, but it's not the best. So it could be a battle of the mid right here between those two sides. And I'm looking forward to it. I want to see what Drake May can do because I've been a little bit hard on the young quarterback for this entire season, saying who have they beat. I've been a little bit negative. He's not my MVP. He's in the conversation. I have him in second or third place, but I'm intrigued to see what he can do in year two, getting into the playoffs for the first time.
Also, now, no surprise, Leon Draisaitl was announced to the German Olympic team, but Josh Szymanski, who, of course, currently playing for the Bakersfield Condors, he made the squad. Now, you've got Stützle and you've got Seider and Grubauer, Peterka. Those are their main guys. But some other names that you'll be familiar with, guys who played for the Oilers for a brief time, Dominic Cahoon. And in fact, you go back and you look at Dominic Cahoon's numbers when he was a youngster playing with Leon Draisaitl when they were teammates in Mannheim. Man, Cahoon was unreal. Like, Leon had a lot of points. Cahoon had more points. Cahoon had 200 points one year. It's crazy. So you know what? Obviously, he's not the NHL player that Draisaitl has, but he's a big deal in Germany. He makes that team. Tobias Reeder also makes that team. And so good for them. Then you got Nico Sturm, another NHLer who'll be on the squad. So some names that I think Oiler fans are familiar with a little bit. Philip Grubauer is going to have to probably play even better than he's played for Seattle this year. He'll be the starting goaltender. And obviously Germany's in tough, no question. But you know what? That's a big deal for them. They've got, like, think about Germany's Olympic roster 20 years ago. You didn't have 6 NHL. Like, you definitely didn't have a guy who was a Hart Trophy winner, right? One of the best players in the game. Seider's a really good defenseman. Grubauer's a solid NHL goalie. Peterka, Stützle, legit top 6 forwards in the NHL. That's some big improvement for Germany. Like, they got ways to go, of course, but seeing those guys in the Olympics is only going to inspire more young kids in Germany. So good for them. And Josh Szymanski, what an opportunity for him. What a thrill that's going to be. Hopefully, he gets into some games. They got 14 forwards like everybody else. So we'll see. Does he get in a few games? I think he's got a very good chance. He's had a good year, good first pro season in the American League in North America. Hey, Gregor, when McDavid is just shooting instead of giving up to the vastly worst shooter in Hyman, he's the best offensive player in the world. From Kenneth. I don't know if, Hyman's pretty damn good shooter around the net. I don't see McDavid passing to Hyman outside of Hyman's power zones, really, for the most part. But McDavid, historically, he shot a lot once in his career and he scored 64 goals. And he said he wanted to shoot more this season, and it didn't start that way, but that's why it's called a season, not a few games. And obviously, I would say since the first 11, after the first month, he's been shooting the puck. And now he's feeling, there's still going to be times when he opts to pass because he's a pass first guy. Like, look at that shift to start the third. David comes in. It's like a 2-on, 3-on-1. That was the only negative I found in the Oilers game last night. Well, glaring negative was their, outside of Janmark, who came in on that shorthanded one and ripped it. The Oilers had, I counted 4 2-on-1s or 3-on-1s where they didn't get a shot on goal because they were passing too much or holding on to it. And I'm like, just shoot the puck. Just rip it. Maybe you get a rebound, but they got to rip it. So 833-401-1440. Hey, Gregs, what are your thoughts on the Ducks and Jets losing frequently? Do you think they'll make some changes? From Trev. Yeah, well, the Ducks were off to a great start. I thought they improved. I didn't think the Ducks were that improved. They were improved, but I didn't think they were suddenly going to vault to the top of the standing. So they were due to come back to the pack a little bit. They're now leaking goals at a ridiculous rate. And if that continues, guess what? You ain't winning. So what changed? They got a new head coach. They're not changing their head coach. I think they're still in some growing pains. Still, the majority of their guys are still young on the young side compared to the old side. So if I was the Ducks, now I got to look at who their potential free agents are. If they end up, falling out of the playoffs, which I don't think they want to do, they would like to at least stay in the hunt. And they're still in the hunt, but in 2 more weeks, they could fall out even farther. But if you look at like their pending UFAs or guys like, Ryan Poling, Ross Johnston, Yannick Harkins. Now on defense, Jacob Trouba and Radko Gudas. Now that's the interesting thing. What would they do on their blue line? At $8 million, Trouba's, even if you're Tane at 4, he's a $4 million player. Like, I think if Trouba's in your third pair, you really like your third pair for a playoff team. Maybe he's a number 4. Maybe. And if he's a number 4, then he's a $4 million guy. I get it. But Radko Gudas at $2 million, ooh, there could be some teams interested in him for certain. But if you're Anaheim and you are struggling defending, not that those guys are world beaters by any stretch, but you can't just keep bringing in young defenders, right? Jackson Lacombe, Drew Hellingston, Ian Moore, Pavel Inkov, Olin Zellweger. None of them are older than 24. So if you trade away those two guys, your defense is really young next year. Now, you could hope that maybe you'll get some free agents, but that's not a guarantee. So if I'm the Ducks, I might want to try to re-sign Gudas. Maybe even Trouba, depending at the price. But because you're leaking goals, to just get younger on defense, I'm not sold that's the best way. Because the Ducks have been out of it for a while. Like they wanted to take a step, and they did for the first half of the year. But can it continue? That'll be the question. When we come back, Mike Rupp will join us. It's the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Day or night, tasting just the right. You can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle Noodle.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit fountaintire.com today.
Smart, connected, community driven. Jason Gregor sets the standard for sports talk in Edmonton. Join the conversation on Sports 1440. Text Gregor 833-401-1440. Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
Craving a dining experience that rises above the rest? Head to Summit Restaurant, nestled in the heart of the Silent Ice Center and just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Savor Summit's exceptional house-made pizza, delectable entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails, all served in a stylish, modern atmosphere. For a casual meal or a special night on the town, Summit Restaurant offers a straightforward yet refined experience where every bite and sip reflects our dedication to quality. Elevate your dining experience. Visit Summit Restaurant tonight.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's AquaCentral reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
Got a car you're ready to part with? Find out what it's worth. Fast, easy, and totally free at Go Auto. We're talking top dollar trade-ins, whether it's a little worn or still rocking that new car smell. Just a few clicks, and boom, you've got your value. Text value to 780-777-7777 to start. That's value to 780 all sevens. Why guess what it's worth? Let Go Auto show you the money.
For almost half a century, families, farmers, and mechanics across Alberta have trusted Ed's Auto Salvage in Westlock. Why? Because we know cars and we know value. Hi, Lisa here. And whether it's keeping your work truck hauling or getting your teenager's first car back on the road, Ed's has the parts you need at prices you can afford. Reliable, affordable, local. That's Ed's Auto Salvage. With province-wide shipping and daily delivery to Edmonton, visit us at edsautosalvage.com.
From the local rinks to homes and businesses across the province, Alberta's rural natural gas utilities are here to fuel life affordably, reliably, and safely. We're members of the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops, providing natural gas to keep our rural neighborhoods warm and connected every day. It's local, dependable, and it's ours. To learn more about the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops and our members, and how natural gas fuels your community, visit fedgas.com. Alberta's energy. Game on.
The new double cheesy melt at McDonald's. We're talking 2 juicy, mouth-watering 100% Canadian beef patties, 2 slices of cheesy goodness, with even more melty, cheesy sauce on top. Topped with pickles, then crispy and grilled onions. The way it all comes together, you don't just eat it, you melt into it. The double cheesy melt, only at McDonald's. For a limited time only, at participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Northwest Crane, available for all your lifting and equipment needs, specializing in selling and servicing cranes. Get lifting at northwestcrane.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
We continue on Wednesday afternoon, and good news. What a perfect timing for the start of Edmonton Minor Hockey Week, and good luck to all the teams, all the players. Over 13,000 kids will be lacing it up. A lot of fun. And starting on Friday. And that includes the U9 division, which plays outdoor pond hockey out at Cattail Crossing. Just adds a little. I think it's a great. I love that idea. Because you know what's funny? I talked to guys older than me who, when their biggest memory from Edmonton Minor Hockey Week was that was the first time for many of them they ever got to play an indoor game. Lots of them grew up, all their games were played outdoors. We're a little soft now. You got these multi-complexes, huge dressing rooms. Hey, you know, that's great. But I think a little
Gregor Show on Sports 14.
I remember I even played a few games organized on the ODR. I thought it was great. Right now, obviously the boards are different, the glass, that's fine, but it was a lot of fun as a kid. And so for the U9 division to get out there, the weather's going to be good. It's not going to be too cold at all. So I hope all the kids have some fun. Let's get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by the Spruce Grove Saints, and they are hosting the BCHL All-Star Game. It's going to be Canada versus the world coming up there's the college, there's actually 2 games. There's the college prospect game on Friday the 16th. And so that's all kids who, you know, are going to NCAA route. And then the next night is the Canada takes on the world. So 2 games down at the Thompson Family Arena. Get your tickets at sgsaints.ca. So it should be there'll be a lot of scouts out there for that. Lots of scouts as we welcome to the show Stanley Cup winner, Game 7 hero, analyst on the NHL Network, and my co-host on the DFL Rundown podcast, Mike Rupp, joins us. Rupper, how you doing, my man?
I'm good. How you doing, Greggs?
Hey, I'm pretty good. Pretty good. What is that? Where are you at today? Where is that? Is that the NHL
studio?
Studio?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. We got our little. They kind of do up a.
Is that all the jerseys you
stalls? Wore? Yeah. We got a couple. Suitcases here.
I was just gonna say, holy cow!
You
Boiler.
see mine, but Boiler.
Yeah,
Boiler almost took up 2 stalls, runs into Jason Demers and then Corey Schneider back over there too. But we got a lot of jerseys covered with the 4 of us.
JD Love, oh my God, that is too funny for Demers. Pretty funny dude. I'll give him that. Don't tell him I said that though. Rob, I was crunching some numbers earlier today, having watched the Winnipeg Jets. I always say this: sports is the best that's real reality TV, right? All the other stuff, there's no writer would have ever written this thinking there's always worst to first storylines, but first to worst, it's never actually happened in the modern era of the NHL. It did happen in 41-42. Your Rangers went from 60 points to 30 back when they played 48 games, went from first to sixth, which is still a pretty big drop of 30 points.
Yeah.
But no one's done it since. And, the worst a team dropped was in the 24 team league. They went from first. Funny enough, the Rangers also, then they dropped down to 19th out of 24 teams. That was from 94. So I look at this Jets team, and last year, obviously Hellebuck played well, but they had a really good defensive environment. Kevin Woodley outlined it for us. Their power play was very good. Nothing is going right. They blew a 2-0 lead. They blew a 3-2 lead. They've only won one game in their last 14. Like, pretty much their season's over unless they're going to have like the greatest turnaround ever. It's wild. And they don't have a lot of tradable assets, and they got a lot of their guys signed long-term. Is this just one of the where you chalk it up and say, let's not panic? Or do you think the Jets should try to make a significant move?
It's so hard because of what you just laid out there. You have a couple of extremes. So, I mean, I would normally say in a situation like this, yeah, whether it's however you want to, come up with a solution. Is it this isn't our year? We've got to make some little tweaks here and there going into next season. Or it's hard to get a read though, because you went from President's Trophy winning team that did all those things you talked about. I mean, they're top 5 team offensively, defensively, most importantly, in pretty much every category. The Winnipeg Jets, like, they were dialed, and they're not. They don't have that luxury this year. They're not very good defensively. So I don't know how you kind of, at what point do you try to say, okay, we can still make a move this year? Are you going to try to shake it up to move forward this year? Or is it, let's recalibrate and come back next year? But then you got to really, that's kind of alluding to you being, believing that last year was more of who you are than this year. So this is a really tough self-evaluation they got to do here. So I do think that they are much more of the team from last season than they are from this season. I don't know what's going on, man, because for a team defensively, usually you could see dry scoring dry up. You can see like foundational defensive play that seems to be a part of the fabric of your organization. That usually doesn't just disappear. That's usually still in there somehow, some way. I'm just not sure what is going on this year in Winnipeg, because this looks like a completely different hockey team.
Well, yeah, and confidence is a big thing. Now, the one thing, Rupper, they looked like they got slow really quick, right? And the game is fast, and they got older and slower. And I think so. The Jets, they got to get rid of some guys. Now some of the signings haven't worked. They tried Jonathan Taves, and you know what? Maybe on another team, he could help out a bit. Someone might take him because he wins a lot of draws and he's got the Stanley Cup pedigree. So someone might take him as a free agent. But Tanner Pearson, older, not a great skater. Gustav Nyquist has been a disaster. Nemestikov. They've got a lot of guys that you'll probably want to shed some. And if they could just get some better speed down their lineup, that might help them. But it's also their power play. Like, the power play was great last year, and this year it's not even remotely good.
You talk about the power play, but let's even look at some of the other forward lines that they had going, where, I mean, I'd argue the last number of seasons they've had through different stretches. I know that's changed in some regards too, but you had one of the best third lines in hockey when you have Lowry, Niederreiter, and you had Mason Appleton. Well, Mason Appleton's not there anymore, obviously, but that line, without having Adam Lowry going at the beginning of the season for a good portion, like that hurt them. And I think it hurt them because that's the time of year when you're coming into a season where everyone starts getting on the same page, the chemistry gets going, and you're hoping to maybe to garner, all right, this is our lines, this is how we use them. That Lowry line was usually in the past used after goals for, goals against, start periods. Like, it was a nice little way to take out pressure from the big dogs on the top line. But then you also had last year, Nemesnikov was really good on that second line center position, where you've got an Ehlers. Perfetti was awesome last year. Like, you don't have some of those that, well, in Ehlers' situation, he's not there. And Perfetti was it was a tough start for him in this season. And you mentioned Nemesnikov. So it's like almost where we see some teams have all these good things going for them, you can't have all of them just drop off. And I think that's what we're seeing. It's the top line was dominant. I mean, still is a dominant top line, but you need more than that. Like, you need to have a lot of elements of your game going. You don't have to have them all going, but they've had a lot of things drop off since last season.
Yeah, no question. You look at the Art Ross race, Rupper, and suddenly it's pretty tight. McDavid and McKinnon. McDavid, has made up 9 points on McKinnon since December 1st, and now he's actually 1 point ahead of him. Kucherov's been great, but he's 14 points back. I just don't know if you can do it. But you had asked about this a while ago, Rupper. It's like you read into your crystal ball, and it's worked out because McKinnon and McDavid, like these guys are flirting. Both are on pace for 140 points, and if they keep rolling, they could push even close to 150.
It's incredible to see. What was the date? We probably came across the same thing in that stat. Since the one game with McDavid, I mean, he's cooking it like, I mean, it's
He's got
some
39 points in the 16-game point streak.
yeah. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. And you're talking some time early December through now. I mean, he's going at like a 200-point pace. But that's what I want to see. And we've mentioned it before, where I want to see McKinnon and McDavid pull away. I want to see him pull away from the group, and they are. And I expect it to happen even more. And I just want to see these two just go toe to toe, back and forth. And I just find it really interesting to me because I think Nathan McKinnon, a lot of people would have him as a Hart Trophy favorite. I would think obviously with what Connor's doing, he's got to be in the conversation. There's other storylines that are fantastic too. But it's just funny when we get to this point and the story is still going to be written. This has been a world-class season so far for Nathan McKinnon because of the team winning every game, it seems like, not losing in regulation very frequently. They have as of late, but it seems like the picture perfect storyline for him in the Colorado Avalanche. Well, that hasn't been the case here for Connor in Edmonton. Like there was times where I'm on the show with you, Gregs, and it's like, what's up with McDavid? He does not look like himself. Something's not right. And for us to go from that, and it was that for quite some time, to right now you're mentioning him having a lead. I just find that really incredible to look at, where you have everything going good for Colorado, Nathan McKinnon, Hart Trophy potential, to McDavid, where this has kind of been a yin and yang season for him. And he's still where he's at. You know what I mean? Like that shows how great this guy is, that he can kind of flip the script in that regard. And as far as the Art Ross goes, I mean, it's fun to watch, man. He is appointment television. We've known this for years. I think right now what he's doing is something that's nothing short of spectacular.
That's fun to watch. He's at 2.44 points per game in his last during this 16-game point streak, where he's racked up 39 points, which is still not as good as Leon Draisaitl's 42 points in 16 games against the Nashville Predators, Rupper. Like 16 straight, you got 42 points against the Preds. Scores again last night, 2 points. We had the odds. Like I would never bet a guy that gets 3 points in the game, but we had it as one of our odds boosts yesterday. Play Alberta, Draisaitl will do it. I hope the guys did it because it hit. It's a wild stretch over almost 7 years that you dominate one team like that.
It's incredible. I want to say, was it last year, or is it, because we have to give our prop bets and stuff on this NHL Network show we do, and we'll look at some things going into games. And I think the big thing, there was one time I remember I jumped on something with Leon in Nashville. I think there was a game recently that he had nothing. I'm like, oh, of course, when I'm gonna bring up Leon's gonna dominate like he has been, but he's back on that wagon now. And I don't know what it is, because listen, if we're all talking about, you don't think the Nashville Predators talk about it? They're aware of that, and you're obviously aware of that. But like, I don't know what it is, but that is probably the most dominant performance against one singular team that we've seen in our modern game. I can't really recall anybody else having that type of dominance. There's some really impressive ones, but that one is like unearthly.
Yeah, like I looked at that time at everybody else in the NHL, and Draisaitl actually has 4 teams, Rupper, in that time. In the last 6.5 years, 4 teams where he's had over 2 points a game, minimum 15 games played.
Wow.
Nashville, Seattle, Anaheim, and Chicago. And then McDavid has 2 teams, Anaheim and Nashville. But like, so Draisaitl, like he's dominating Nashville, but there's just certain teams where, you know what, like they're obviously great matchups for him and you dominate. And you can say, well, hey, McKinnon's an elite player and he's very good. Don't get me wrong. And Kucherov and these guys. But when it comes to that, like now McDavid and Draisaitl go together. But last night they were on, I think, for the one goal together. And then they produce on their own lines. And that's obviously a good thing. But that's what's dangerous is when those two get going on their own lines, that's when the Oilers are a lethal problem. It hasn't happened that often, but here we are, Rupper. And the Oilers, I would say, have had an average season. At best, average. But they're tied for first and could run away with the division here in the second half with a much more favorable schedule.
I guess that's kind of my point from the individual standpoint. It's been a very kind of average season for different stretches individually, but then even as a team, and here we are. So I don't think many people have ruled out the Edmonton Oilers as being a contender in the West, even when they were struggling, because we've kind of seen some levels of this before and in the past, and you're not going to discredit those guys. But we're starting to see it kind of the way we expected maybe the entire season to look for them right now. And this is a team that is it's totally different what we're seeing right now. And I still think they're figuring things out. I mean, they're still, getting Jari back. They're still going to be figuring out their goaltending. They're still going to be figuring some of this stuff out on the fly. Like, I don't think this is like a polished up finished product to roll into the playoffs with. So they're still working at it. But this is the team I think people were expecting, a team that can be a real tough out and get those guys going. You don't even know what it's going to look like. Some nights it's going to be together. Some nights it's going to be apart. But the Edmonton Oilers are looking like they just the same team that made the finals the last 2 years.
The Anaheim Ducks have only the Jets are worse than them over the last 15 games. What do you make of the Ducks? And they're really right now they can't defend. They got lit up. I know it was 2 empty net goals, but still they gave up 5 plus 2 empty netters to Washington again. How concerned are you there? And what's gone wrong in Anaheim? I just think it's too much youth on the back end.
Yeah, I mean it's youth is certainly a factor. But even when the youth was serving them pretty well at the beginning of the season, kind of giving them that boost offensively. And I don't think they were defending very well during that time either as a team. Like they're not a team that's going to they're going to give up some looks against. And I think the big difference is before Dostal went down, he was a real difference maker, and they were getting the right goaltending to kind of offset some of that. And with Dostal, the injury, and then him coming back, and just isn't the same. They are probably giving up about the same type of looks that they did before, and that just makes your margins a lot thinner. So if you're not scoring as many goals, guess what? You're not winning, and they have to find an area of their game that they can have as their crutch and lean on a little bit. And it's just got to be tightening up a little bit defensively and being a little more selective in areas. But yeah, I'm concerned with them. I still think they should be a team in that Pacific. I still think they're a playoff team. I'm still kind of thinking that they're a top 3 in that division, but they're gonna have to turn that pretty quick, or I might be changing my mind on that. I just think that they have a lot of they've got a lot of pieces. They've got a lot of pieces that if they can just get some sort of find a way to make it a little more stable here in the next couple weeks, I think they'll start getting into a little bit of a groove again. But right now, the hardest thing is stopping the bleeding, because they're hemorrhaging right now. And but I also don't believe in some of the other teams necessarily. Like, I don't want to bring up and make it about them, but I don't believe the Seattle Kraken are a better team than Anaheim. I don't believe that the LA Kings are that much better than the Anaheim Ducks. So they've certainly got a chance, but they got to end this losing streak here real quick.
Looking at a few of the other teams, Rupper, and the Colorado Avalanche have had an unreal season. Now they've lost 2 in a row in regulation. They some key injuries, right? Taves is out, Landeskog's out, Blackwood's injured again. They were on a run. I'm not worried about them. Like, they've got so much of a cushion. Heck, they could lose 8 in a row, and it wouldn't change much. But the Dallas Stars, they've suddenly lost 6 in a row and aren't and they can't stop a beach ball, and they can't defend. Like, it's kind of shocking to look at what's happened here for the Stars. Any concern, or you just think this is like an odd blip for them?
I mean, a little bit of a concern. I think that like, even if you just go off of certain mile markers, like when the Quinn Hughes trade happened to the Minnesota Wild, if you remember at that time, I think Dallas was only like 2-3 points off of Colorado for the top record in the league. And then it was like the Wild were maybe 10-12 points below them. Now that's all kind of shrunken and gone, the Wild are, I don't have the standings in front of me right now, but I'm pretty sure they're pretty much even now. The Wild and Stars are right around the same. And so that's changed. But I mean, it kind of feels like it's going to be inevitable. It's going to be a Minnesota Dallas round one matchup. So I guess you could say that they're just losing home ice maybe in that first round right now, but it's not a good spot to be in because this team is much better than the way they've been playing. I'm not concerned about them. They've got enough time here to get back going on track, but they certainly don't look like the Dallas Stars that we thought we were seeing early in the year, where they can compete with the Colorado Avalanche. I think when you're looking at it, that Quinn Hughes trade made the Minnesota Wild much closer to Colorado than they once were. I thought Dallas was very close to Colorado before, and now maybe it's not as close as we thought. So whatever that means for you or anybody else, regardless, all three of those teams I just mentioned are going to have an extremely tough path in the playoffs. The Dallas Stars, I think they'll be okay, though.
Rupper, always good to catch up with you, man. Enjoy the show tonight. We'll talk to you Friday on the rundown.
Awesome, buddy. Enjoy.
There you go. That's Mike Rupp from NHL Network. Take a quick break. We'll come back. Con Man. How concerned or excited should he be? We'll find out next.
Vimy and Don in Hockey are dedicated to skill development for all hockey players. If you know a student athlete interested in growing as a person and a player, register for a free shadow day. Beginner or experienced, this program develops a student athlete skill in a supportive environment. It's a great opportunity for prospective student athletes entering grades 3 through 12 to see what Vimy and Donnan have to offer. Visit vimyridge.epsb.ca or donnan.epsb.ca for more info and to sign up.
Reduce joint pain and inflammation with Cannabis Sativa Seed Oil Gel Caps, packed with a perfect ratio of omegas 3, 6, and 9 to support optimal health. Find this vegan, gluten-free formula at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month. Looking for the perfect gift? Give the gift of great taste with a Loca Quality Market gift card. Redeemable at any Loca Quality Market or Loca operated restaurant. It's a treat for food lovers. Ready anytime. Grab yours today at loca.ca.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
The job won't wait. Why should you? At AWS Welding Supplies and Repairs, conveniently located in Nisku, we've got everything you need to get it done. From product sales to servicing and calibrating machines, we're your one-stop shop. We're a proud, locally owned and operated business committed to serving our community with a proven track record of customer service. Don't let a broken tool slow you down. We offer fast repairs and free same-day delivery of in-stock items to Leduc, Nisku, and South Edmonton. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world. Also a variety of excellent non-alcoholic options. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
$250. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Howling, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Hope you're having a lovely Wednesday. Happy hump day. You're almost over. And then now it's on the downside to the final 2 days before another weekend. Good luck. Gregor Show always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. As we get to our NFL report, playoff edition, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, home of the no payments, no interest for 1 year on your furnace. Stay warm all winter. LegacyHeating.ca. As the NFL playoffs will begin on Saturday, And we've talked about the 49ers Eagles today. We're going to talk about the Patriots and the Chargers. From the Sporting Tribune, beat reporter for the Chargers, Fernando Ramirez, joins us. And Fernando, I look at the quarterback play specifically, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
I think Justin Herbert's had a great year, especially behind that offensive line.
No, I completely agree. And thank you so much for having me. It's a little weird that he hasn't been thrown into the MVP conversation. I get it. The other two candidates, deservedly so, or they've had they've been flashier. They've obviously both had more wins, but I definitely think that Justin deserves to be in the conversation, because without him, this team would probably be at 3 wins, to be completely honest. I mean, the way this guy's put the team on his back multiple times this year has been very impressive. And again, you lose Rashawn Slater, you lose Joe Walt, and there you are again in the playoffs. I mean, it's been impressive to see them get to this point, especially with some of the injuries that they've had.
So let's go to a matchup perspective, and you look at it. Drake May. A lot of people are going to say, okay, maybe there's some inexperience here that they can take advantage of for the Chargers. How do you feel their defense is going to attack or defend this Patriots offense?
Well, the Chargers got smacked in the mouth by the Jacksonville Jaguars right before their bye week.
Yeah.
And I spoke to a couple of players, and they told me, yeah, we kind of needed a break. We weren't really, our heads weren't really in it. And you're kind of like, oh, wow, okay. So they needed the bye week. And after the Raiders game, Derwin James, I asked him after a game, we were just talking one-on-one, and I asked him, so how are you feeling? He's like, dude, you're about to see our best ball. And I'm like, are you like, really? He's like, watch. And I'm like, you guys are playing the Eagles this weekend. And he goes, yeah, we'll be good. And they end up playing well against the Eagles, and they go into Kansas City, and they showed that they were legit. They were going to play bully ball, and that's what they've been doing for the past few weeks. They played the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas scored 17 points on them in the first half, and they really clinched down in the second half, and 0 points allowed. So I think what they're going to do is, obviously those 2 running backs are huge weapons. They're going to have to account for them. Stephon Diggs is another guy that they're going to have to look after, and Hunter Henry, who the Chargers know well. Derwin James knows him well. They were former teammates when he was out here in Los Angeles. So the Chargers are going to have to be very mindful of all the weapons that they possess. And I think the key for them is going to be getting after Drake May. If they can get after them with Tuli Tuipulotu, Dafe Owe, and Khalil Mack, I really feel like they can get to May and they'll force them into some mistakes.
Fernando Ramirez joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show, taking a look at the LA Chargers. They get set to take on the New England Patriots Sunday night in Foxborough from the Sporting Tribune. On the flip side, when you look at the offensive line for the Chargers, does not grade very well. We've seen it on social media. For the Patriots, their defensive line does not grade very well. How do you see this matchup going?
It kind of reminds me a little bit of that Chargers-Cowboys game where they just couldn't generate any pressure. Now, I'll be honest, they have Milton Williams and they have Christian Batemore, but I really feel like if the Chargers' offensive line is able to hold up after getting a week's rest, if they're able to hold up and give Herbert time, I think he should be able to do well against that secondary. Now, obviously, they have Christian Gonzalez, but I really feel like last year the Chargers sacrificed weaponry to kind of get other tools for their team, and this year they really said, all right, what did Justin Herbert need last year that he didn't have? Bring in his third down weapon, bring back Keenan Allen. They brought back Keenan Allen. They're one of the best third down teams, which has been huge for them because they extend drives. They tire out the opposing defense. So the Chargers' goal literally is to tire you out by the fourth quarter, and then the fourth quarter you being like, oh, we still have another quarter against these guys. So I definitely think that I think the offensive line should be able to hold up, and it's going to really rely on Justin's legs. If Justin can move around and extend plays and take off running, I think that's going to be huge, because in the games that he's rushed over, I think 50 times, they've done well in those games. So for 50 yards, sorry. So if he's able to rush for multiple yards and he's able to really get it going with his legs, I feel like that proves that they're or that shows that they're going to be able to beat you in multiple ways and not just with his arm.
Fair or not, I mean, the record doesn't lie. He is 0-2 in the playoffs. He had the big collapse against the Jags, and then obviously it didn't go very well for him last year against the Houston Texans. So some pressure on Justin Herbert in this one. I want to ask you, if it doesn't go well, obviously there's going to be looking at potential changes. Do you think Greg Roman, the offensive coordinator, could be on the hot seat at all?
You're like the fifth person that's asked me that. Truly, I think he would have to be, because that's 2 years in a row of dysfunction. And there's been a lot of dysfunction where if you notice at games, like, and I've noticed it too, there's times where there's two receivers in the same area, and you're always taught growing up in high school ball, you never want two receivers in the same area because that means only one guy has to cover you in a sense, and there's two, and that could cause an easy turnover. So there has been that. There has been mismanagement by him. But the one thing is, can Jim Harbaugh get over what a lot of people say about him and his brother, that they're too loyal to people? It took John a year and a half to fire Greg Roman. So I wonder if Jim would decide to do that. It would have to take an ultimate, like if they had the same result that they did last year in Houston, he would have to fire him, because there's no way you can keep him after the debacle. Now, the only thing I'll give you is that last year they said the excuse was we didn't have the weaponry. This year, their excuse is going to be, well, we haven't had the offensive line. So that could be the way that they kind of allow him to come back and be like, well, maybe next year we can put all two of those things together and then we'll see the Greg Roman offense. But again, I was surprised that they hired him when they first did. I thought they would hire him in like a advisement role or consultant or something like that. I didn't think they would hire him as a offensive coordinator, just because I thought that they were going to want an innovative young mind to come in, like matchup Jim Harbaugh's like hardcore run the football, all that aggressiveness with a young Sean McVay minded individual who could come in and extend plays and be able to do a lot with their offense.
Just one more from me, Fernando. Appreciate you joining us. You're looking at the Chargers and the Patriots. Jesse Minter, defensive coordinator. We've heard his name pop up as, I believe, 7 vacancies in the NFL when it comes to head coach. What do you think the chances are he finds a new job and starts running a franchise of his own?
To be honest, before the Baltimore opening, I thought it'd be maybe a little bit lower. But Jim just told the media right now that he's been getting a lot of calls about potentially interviewing him. So I think Baltimore is going to be an interesting place for him, because right now everybody's kind of focused on John. And I mean, we've even heard that, like yesterday, somebody reported, oh, there's been 7 teams that have talked to him. And you're like, wait, there's only 7 openings and he's not going to go back to Baltimore. So everybody right now, John's a hot commodity. I think when things cool down, then I think Jesse's going to start getting some. But I think Baltimore would be the one where I think he'd go. The Raiders right now, to me, are a mess. I wouldn't want to go there. I think the Cardinals are a little bit of a mess as well. So Cleveland, who knows if he'd want to go over there. New York, obviously, the Giants would be good because he has really good edge rushers there as well. So, but I really think after John kind of makes a decision, I think that's when you're going to see more. But I wouldn't be surprised if Jesse left. I wouldn't be surprised if Jesse said, you know what, give me one go around one more time, especially if they make it to like the divisional round. Maybe he thinks to himself, you know what, let me get one more of these with Jim. Let's go win the Super Bowl next year. So, but nothing would surprise me when it comes to Jesse. I think he's highly sought after, especially because of the way his defenses have performed these last 2 years.
Drake May's had an unreal season for the Patriots and looks extremely poised. I don't even know if I can think of a game, Fernando, where he looked uncomfortable. And if you don't look uncomfortable as a quarterback, you're going to have a lot of success. And I think ultimately, like I don't think the Chargers can go like touchdown for touchdown. I don't think that's their strategy to win. I think they've got to try to keep this low scoring to win. What do you think?
No, I completely agree. Connor, don't start drinking now. Wait till Sunday. Don't do it.
Just a juice.
Yeah, save that for Sunday. No, I completely agree with you. That's been the Chargers' MO all season. Really, only score for score that they've been able to go at recently has been the Cowboys. Other than that, they haven't been able to really do that. But that's not their MO, like you said. Their MO has been, let's punch you in the mouth, let's tire you out, and we'll get enough points on the scoreboard to win the game. So I completely agree with you. I think they're going to have to throw some things at Drake that he hasn't seen yet, because he is still a raw young player, and they're going to have to throw some things at him that they haven't seen. That's what Bill Belichick used to do. Bill used to throw things at rookie quarterbacks. He'd watch on film and be like, that's what you're not good at. Well, boom, here you go. So I think that's what they're going to have to do to Drake. They're going to have to try and confuse him. they're going to have to stop that running game with Stevenson and Hendrickson, sorry. And if they can slow down the run game, I think that's the thing. I think Vrabel's going to try and lean into that running game to kind of not put the ball in Drake May's hands to try and ease him into his playoff game. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Chargers said, all right, Drake, beat us. Try and do it. Go in here and try and beat us. So that's going to kind of be their game plan, I think, is go in there and play hard-nosed defense.
What's your prediction?
I had Chargers 24, Patriots 19. And the only reason why I did that is because I think people are thinking that Bill Belichick and Tom Brady are going to run through that tunnel on Sunday night, and that's not it. It's a new generation, new coach, new everything. I think they're going to need time. I think this year was a great first year, but I just don't think that they have the weapon. I don't think they have it to go all the way moving forward. They haven't faced a top 5 defense all season long. And also, the Chargers started training camp on July 10th. They started a week and a half before anybody else did. For Jim Harbaugh to tell his players, this is why we did this. This is why we started early. This is why we grinded. This is why you need to show them that you're moving forward, that it's not you're going to get stuck in the same place you did last year where you ended up in the wild card and you lost. So I think it's more important for the Chargers to win this game than the Patriots. So that's why I think the Chargers should be able to pull this out.
Awesome stuff, Fernando. Appreciate it, man. Enjoy the game.
Thank you, Jason. Have a good one, and thank you so much for having me.
You betcha. That's Fernando Ramirez joining us from LA, where the Chargers, I think I might have called them San Diego again, but the Chargers taking on the Patriots. It is different, but and I like quality of competition matters somewhat. I don't think it's a do-all, end-all. Like, maybe they would have done very well against top 5 defense. You never know till you see them. So that's why they play the games, and it should make for some fun matchups starting on Saturday. And when we return, we got a Business of Sport. Rich Winter will join us. Sue Taylor will be by. But first, let's get to the Con Man Sports 1440 update, brought to you by Fountain Tire, where not only do they care about tires, they care about your vehicle. Tires, wheels, oil change, vehicle repairs, they got you covered. FountainTire.com.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Just 5 games on the ice tonight in the NHL. Gets going at 5 with the Caps and the Stars. Got the Flames in Montreal, Blackhawks and Blues, Sens take on the Mammoth, and the Kings up against the Sharks. Some news off the ice. The LA Kings announcing that Corey Perry has been designated non-roster playing status. No further details were released. The 40-year-old has 9 goals and 21 points in 35 games with the Kings after signing this past offseason. In the association, the Raptors are in action, taking on the Hornets at 5 o'clock. You'll also have the Celtics and the Nuggets, Pelicans in Atlanta, Grizz taking on the Suns, Jazz and OKC, Warriors host the Bucks, and the Rockets taking on the Trailblazers. The Oil Kings on the road in Swift Current, taking on the Broncos, puck drop 6, and in the PWHL, Seattle and Boston, they'll get going at 5. Coming up next on the Jason Gregor Show, it's another edition of the Business of Sport. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
It's Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Sure, your couch is comfortable, but watching the game is always better and on the rocks. With crystal clear TVs, you won't miss a single play, and the specials are a major league win. Pre-game warm-up starts with specials 30 minutes before the puck drops. Get 69-cent wings and $5.75 Molson Canadian and Coors Light drafts. And play score and win every game for your chance to win big. Be part of the action this hockey season. See the menu online at ontherocks.yeg.com.
Do you work for a company that wants to reach people who love sports? Or maybe you're looking to hire people who love sports. Sports 1440 partners with dozens of local businesses, connecting with tens of thousands of Edmonton sports fans every day. On the radio, on the listening apps, on YouTube, and on social media. Contact our sales team today to see what Sports 1440 can do for you. Email Gregor at sports1440.ca to get started.
Hi, Mike here from Merchant Chevrolet Buick GMC. Happy New Year.
Both testing team is on.
Take a moment to say thank you. Thank you.
Afternoon. How are you? And welcome.
With your help and your support, we fed almost 500 families. we donated to various charities in the Edmonton area.
Show presented by
and we're
Play
going to do it
Alberta.
again in 2026. Please stop in and see us today.
News.
13215
What a perfect timing for
97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
250. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440.
Are you ready to hit the slopes?
Not yet. I need to report a possible crime.
Oh no!
Oil
What's
change.
happening?
I saw a bunch of hooligans discussing shredding the half pipe. As a plumber, I've taken the Hippocratic oath to do no harm and act in the best interests of all pipes, whether PVC, copper, or otherwise.
It's made of snow, Mr. Rooter.
No, things are worse than I had feared.
There's no better plumber than Mr. Rooter. When picking a New Year's resolution, try to avoid things you have no influence over.
Like bringing home the cup?
That would be awesome. But completely outside your control. Instead, pick something you can control, like bringing home some Wilhock beef jerky.
That would also be awesome. But what if we brought the cup home to Canada and it was filled with Wilhock beef jerky?
Okay, I'll allow it.
Wilhock beef jerky, only available in Leduc. Get yours today, because you don't win cups with salad.
This is Andrew Walker, host of the postgame show on Sports 1440. After every hockey game this season, tune in and chime in as we talk about the game. It's all sponsored by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Don't get left in the cold. Visit legacyheating.ca.
60 years ago, we started selling trucks as Western GMC Buick. Today, we are Wolf GMC Buick. We're still located on the corner of 184th Street and Stony Plain Road with the same ownership for over 2 decades. Our customers have trusted our family-owned, community-driven business. And for that, we are thankful. If you're looking for a truck or SUV, pop in and one of our seasoned professionals will get you a great deal, hassle-free. Come trust our team at Wolf GMC Buick. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
The BCHL All-Star Game is coming to the Thompson Family Arena in Spruce Grove. The league's best players will go head-to-head in 2 exciting games, January 16th and 17th. The BCHL College Prospects Game takes place on Friday, January 16th at 7 p.m., while the premier matchup will see Canada take on the world on Saturday, January 17th at 7:30 p.m. For ticket inquiries and excellent group ticket packages, go to tickets.sgsaints.ca.
I'm Grant Fedork from Leading Edge Physiotherapy, and people who suffer brain fog might think it's just going to be part of their life. But listen, I've seen a 38-year-old man managing a concussion read her kid a bedtime story without losing the plot, all because of cognitive rehab that rewires the brain like a GPS reboot. Your brain isn't broken, it's buffering. One missed beat in focus, memory, or balance snowballs into frustration, falls, or forgotten keys. Stroke, concussion, long COVID, even aging can all lead to brain fog. Cognitive rehab works. Check us out at leadingedgephysio.com before your next Where'd I Put My Phone moment.
From the first face-off to the final, Sports 1440 is your home for hockey talk. With live coverage, expert analysis, and pre- and post-game shows, we bring you closer to the game. Tune in 24/7, only on Sports 1440, Edmonton's sports station.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Cantork has always been a forward-thinking company, but now that we've turned 25, I can't help but take a minute to take a look back. Thank you to everyone that's been with us along the way.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows. Locally manufactured and installed, Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
3 o'clock. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley with you. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. As always, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, where you can get in the game. Casino, live dealer, lottery, instance. Also, remember to check out the Jason Gregor Show specials every day. we have you can just move your mic back there a bit, and we have a few special ones today. We're going with some shots: Ryan Leonard, Mikko Rantanen, and then also the Blues, Stars, Caps. You can check it out if you like some offense. That's what we're thinking about today on in the NHL. So check it out. It is Wednesday. The business of sports is back, and Rich was so excited. We decided to do it an hour earlier as Rich Winter joins us. Rich, how you doing, my man?
Good. The hour earlier means I'm home in like decent time. Holy smokes, is it nightmare out there? Does the city have any graders left?
Oh, I think they're in they're pretty busy right now. they're pretty busy. There's lots of road work to be done. No question.
No, there's
about
lots of work. That's a lot of snow in a short period of time.
Oh yes, yeah. Ask anybody out there knows because they were all shoveling. So that
shoveling their neighbors out of their driveway.
Yeah. It was good. It was very
Those
good.
all-season tires don't look so good right now.
No, well, yeah. I guess not. That's why you go with Winters, baby. Get your winter tires, Fountain Tire.
Yeah, exactly.
The break was good. New Year's, Christmas, everything was good.
I have 9 grandchildren up and lots. I've got 5 kids and 9 grandchildren and spouses. So we start our invitation list at like 22. So you had a few stragglers. We had a lot of people in the house. It was great. Actually went to practice and had a great time. The grandchildren, not surprisingly, how nice a guy Zach Hyman is. And, he's game day. You think you don't want to bother him too much. He's got 2 game use sticks ready for the 2 grandsons. And that was really nice, tobogganing and all that kind of stuff. I had a great time.
Oh, it's good times.
How about you?
I like it. You know what? Well, we were in a few hockey tournaments over the holidays. Team played the Ben's Cup, and kids had a lot of fun in that. And then went down to Lloydminster for a tournament. I wouldn't recommend, but we did have a few days off, and then there was some ODR and some relaxation. A lot of shoveling for me. But lots of shoveling. But overall, no complaints. It was good. Watched some sports as always, so it was nice. I'm very much looking forward today because in the business of sport, anybody who's listened to this segment knows we talk about all different dynamics of the business of sport. And I've long argued that sports is a reflection of society. People always say, "Oh, the culture of this." I'm like, it's a culture in society. We have a lot of things that we need to change, but sports is something that brings people together. It doesn't matter. You've got people who might be a staunch conservative and a staunch liberal. They cheer for the Oilers. They have it in common. They don't talk politics. They just
and
cheer
nowadays
for the Oilers.
They roll around in the bar afterwards.
Yeah, sure. And there's something sports does unify in a different way.
It does.
And so I think at times maybe you can look at that and say, well, how can we bring more people together? Because it's one commonality is in sports.
Oh yeah.
And an organization that I think, and we're going to talk to, do we have Sue Cons? We do. Okay, perfect. So Sue Taylor is going to join us. Richard set this up. It's basically coaching, leadership, equity, and respect. The name now, it's Canada Clear. They've worked with some teams, not only in the CFL, some junior teams and such. Sue Taylor, Sue, welcome to the show. Appreciate to have you.
Oh, thank you so much. I very much apologize for all the tech issues that we're currently having.
Hey, no problem. It's all good. And we got you on the phone, and that's all that matters. So I want to get to, first of all, kind of, you can give our audience a background of what Canada Clear is and kind of the long-term goals and the success you've had so far.
Sure. Well, let me explain first. I'm actually from Interval House of Hamilton, and we are an organization committed to eradicating gender-based violence. So we have a shelter, we have programs for women and gender diverse folks who are experiencing some form of violence. Through our work, we really started to take an interest in how do we prevent violence? How do we prevent domestic violence? How do we prevent intimate partner violence? I'm telling you, I'm certainly here in Ontario and in Hamilton, my shelter is full every night of women seeking support. And you can build me a shelter and I'll fill it tomorrow. And I don't think that's always the answer.
Right.
So around 10 or 11 years ago, we really started to look at what role can boys and men play in the eradication of violence. We did a bit of a test run in Hamilton, finding out, is there interest? Are boys and men interested in this? And we, resounding, over 95% of the folks that responded said, yes, we want to help. We don't know how. So from a women's perspective, it was interesting because for the first time in probably, I don't even know how long, we were inviting men into the solution.
Yes.
We were looking to men saying, we do want to work with you. And we recognize not all men are bad. There's a lot of great guys out there. We just don't know how to work together and how do we make this happen? And those conversations really prompted a program called Mentor Action, which was bringing positive men and helping them learn to have conversations with other men and boys around healthy masculinity, the stresses of being a man, and creating safe space for boys and men to have these conversations. And through that work is where I learned about a program, called Coaching Boys into Men that was being run in the States. Had been running for probably 10 or 15 years. It was evidence-based. There was research done on it, and the outcomes were impressive. And it really rested on this idea of equipping coaches to have 12 conversations. They're done weekly, about 15 minutes each conversation. They're value-based, and have it with your team of players, right? So I looked at the program and I'm like, first of all, it's evidence-based. That's hard to get. And I'm like, can it be this simple? And it can be, right? So we brought it to Hamilton. I wanted to see it. Would it work? We piloted it with some junior hockey teams to start with.
Yep.
And the results I was hearing was impressive. I'm hearing, I heard from the coach that, it really changed the culture of the dressing room. It changed the culture of the team, right?
Yeah.
They were having conversations that they weren't having before. I can tell you probably what impressed me the most is I'm a hockey mom. I have two boys. One played at the rep level.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, and any hockey parent will probably tell you, when you pick your kids up after practice or after a game, the entire car ride home is coach said, hockey this, hockey, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A parent approached me after Coaching Boys into Men had run in a season. And this one parent had said to me that it was the first time when she picked up her son that when they were driving home, the conversation was, Coach was talking about dating today, Mom.
Oh.
Not a hockey conversation, not a coach said I have to hit the puck this way. It was about dating. And this parent had said to me it was the first time that she was able to have a conversation with her son, building on that conversation that he had with the coach.
Right. Yeah.
And I knew then this is a great launching point.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense a lot of times because it can, a lot of kids, geez, I'm uncomfortable. I don't want to talk to my parents about certain things. And some parents don't know the best way to broach the subject. And sometimes, so if the coach brings up something, say, well, hey, now obviously they have to have the right coach who is, is versed in this program. And so you've had the success. So I guess my question, Sue, is, did you find like the junior age players, like, did it happen with kids that were like in U17, U15, or is it more like U13? What would be the age group, do you think is a good age group where you can have these open conversations?
We started with U11 and U12.
Okay.
And we moved up from there. In our first 2 years of doing it, the feedback was resounding. I knew we were on the right track. And it actually caught the interest of our Minister of Education here in Ontario, who wanted to see this piloted throughout the schools. So we started to actually work across all of Ontario, working with our VAW sister agencies who were then supporting this work happening within schools. And that then caught the attention of our provincial government. We decided to go even farther. So right now, this program is very what we call adaptable. So it's being delivered through school sport. It's being delivered through community sport. We do have some schools that have said, we want to start these conversations in grade 8. So now you're looking at probably 11-year-olds, 10 and 11-year-olds, because they want to equip kids before they even get into high school. They want to start the conversations early. And the program is so adaptable, we can do that. Because again, the conversations they're universal questions. They're questions like, what does respect mean to you? Right? So again, that conversation with an 11-year-old and a 15-year-old are very different.
Mm-hmm.
And it also depends on what's going on in your community. So the program can be delivered technically to the same team every single year, and it will generate a different conversation.
Sue Taylor joins us. She's the executive director at Interval House of Hamilton, but also has focused on this specific program. It's called, they've changed the name to Canada Clear. It really focuses on coaching, leadership, equity, and respect. With the main focal point on trying to reduce, violence at home, violence in relationships and different things like that. You've worked, I think, with CFL teams, also with the junior teams. And so now you kind of have there's always going to have to be a guinea pig, right? Like there's the first team that you do this with, and now you've branched out. So what I guess is this something that, would it go from working with Hockey Ontario to maybe Hockey Canada and having this spread across the country? What's kind of the ultimate goal long term?
Well, I'm not going to lie. I'm an ambitious person.
Okay.
So you're absolutely right. We started it locally, and it breathed life back into lots of things. I mean, being in this sector is very hard. Being in the women's sector is difficult work because we're constantly dealing with increases in numbers. So to be able to come back and say, listen, there's hope here. We've got a program that can provide some hope. So yes, my goal was absolutely to see if we could come up with like a model that would work across Ontario. And I think we're on a great model. It was working really well. Do I think it can be replicated across every province? Absolutely. And I think that ultimately and hopefully we'll get there. I'm really excited about this work, and you are correct. Right now we have the 3 Ontario-based CFL teams supporting the work because they've looked at the program. We've worked with the Hamilton Tiger Cats for 10 or 11 years on gender-based violence and mentorship programs. They were one of the first teams to say, we want to support this work. Right. And then they brought in the Toronto Argonauts and they brought in the Ottawa Redblacks. And this past year, we've had all 3 CFL teams engaging in the work and supporting the work in their local communities.
So I'm going to ask you to stick through. I want to take a quick break and come back because I have lots more questions about this. And because we got a lot of text coming in as well, like from, the coaching aspect of it and how you ensure that, you got the right coaches in place and then how they spread that message. We'll get to all that when we return on the Gregor Show, the business of sports on Sports 1440.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great, but you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium 1-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular menu price. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's with a $6 1-top medium when you order any large specialty at regular menu price. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Top quality flooring, locally owned, and Canadian products from Beaulieu. Yeah, that's CFI.
CFI what?
No, CFI, Custom Floors Inc.
From free estimate to professional installation, contact Custom Floors Inc. at customfloorsinc.ca.
Top quality flooring, locally owned, and Canadian products from Beaulieu. Yeah, that's CFI.
CFI what?
No, CFI, Custom Floors Inc.
From free estimate to professional installation, contact Custom Floors Inc. at customfloorsinc.ca.
Help your body manage stress with Cannabis Sativa Seed Oil Plus. This liquid formula is fortified with nutritional yeast, providing B vitamins for stress reduction and probiotics for intestinal health. Find it at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month.
Exciting news from St. Albert Dodge. The all-new 2026 Jeep Gladiator Sport packages have arrived. They have a great selection and a bunch of colors to choose from. And if you've checked out the Sport, you know it comes in some fun colors. Rugged capability, practical off-road features, and you can get behind the wheel for as low as $49,900. That's right. Put yourself in a brand new Jeep Gladiator Sport for less than $50,000. What more can you ask for? Time to head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Wondering what you can afford? Let Go Auto do the math with our free car loan calculator. No pressure, no awkward convos, just quick answers on your budget and payments. Bad credit? No credit? We got you. Text CHECK to 780-777-7777. That's CHECK to 780 all 7. Find out what you qualify for and start shopping with confidence. Go Auto. Drive what you love with payments that...
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Get the Gregor special. Enjoy 20% off any regular menu priced order when you enter promo code Gregor at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
325. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Rich Winter with you on a Wednesday afternoon, the business of sports. Special guest joining us, Sue Taylor. She's the executive director of Interval House of Hamilton. which of course is for women who are unfortunately suffering domestic abuse. And she's taken that and being like, how can we find solutions? And they work with men because there are lots of great men. It's great to hear that, Sue, because at times it gets a little tiring when you're a good guy when you all hear that all men are bad guys, and it ain't the case. And so I like the fact that, you work in a coaching, you team up with teams and organizations and coaches to kind of go through it to start conversations. And I guess when you went through this and started this pilot project with these teams, how do you, does somebody have to kind of train the coaches to give them what the conversations are so you know that the coach is presented in the right way?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
So we are educators and we're certified to deliver the program here in Ontario and in Canada. So the first thing we do is we work with our sister agencies in any given community to make sure that they're able to support that program. And then the coaches that want to participate, they'll attend. It's about a 2.5 hour training. It's not onerous. It's
not
2.5 hours. They're given, actually, it's called a coach's kit, which is it's a really cool kind of card series. It looks very much like a coach's playbook that they take with them. And that playbook breaks down each week. Hey, this is the topic.
Okay.
This is some questions you can ask. The other thing that we tell the coaches as well, and we do a lot of practicing, by the way, because we recognize, even me, when I got into this field, I wasn't an expert in conversations or discussions. These are things that we learn, and the more that we have them, the more comfortable we become, and we share those experiences. And we tell coaches and we tell men, it's okay. It's okay if you're not comfortable with the card or you're not quite sure how to handle it. Do the best that you can. If there's a card that you're completely uncomfortable with, don't do it, right? There's 12 cards plus some supplementary cards as well. So if there's a particular, week that's not working for you, skip the week. The other thing is they're never just left astray. It's not like, okay, you're trained, good luck, right?
Okay.
We have sister agencies in all of the communities that we do the program in who are 100% there to assist the coach or the teacher who's ever doing the program with whatever questions they may have. What we find works best is getting a couple of really great, what I call ambassador coaches. So coaches that, hear about the program, they really want to do it. They really want to try it, right? They've got the motivation. They're like, I can do this. And we have a lot of coaches that come forward and say, yeah, I'm totally into this. With them, you get a whole level of momentum and energy. And as they do the program, they then can talk to coaches that they're working alongside of and say, listen, I did the program. It works well. This is the benefits that I see. And that's going to carry far more weight than me saying, oh, no, I'm telling you it'll work. So we like to use a bit of an ambassador model to build kind of energy within each of the different leagues.
Could you give an example of what one of the cards would be?
Yeah, a great example is the one that I just talked about around, a good respectful language is a great example of a card where the coach will say, okay, let's talk about what does respectful language look like? What does it sound like, right? Where do you guys struggle when you hear certain words? Why would this word be offensive? And what do you do if you hear this word?
Yeah.
Right. That's a great example of a 1 week conversation that could have a 15-minute, we call them transformational discussions.
Yeah.
Because depending on what the kids are bringing forward, the coach can build on that.
And so did you, in the feedback you got from the coaches, because like any teacher will tell you, some kids in the classroom, they'll raise their hand and they'll answer maybe more than others will. And some are more willing. But I think sometimes when you're in a dressing room, for sure, if one starts speaking up, then all of a sudden the others they kind of feel more comfortable. And then, hey, you know what? And sometimes one guy will nudge you, hey, can you ask this for me? Right. And it happens. What was the response from the players when they were presented different questions?
Yeah, what we hear a lot about is this is one of the few times that boys and men have a safe space to have these conversations, right? And what we hear is that as that space and the boys and the coach are defining it as a safe space to have a more vulnerable conversation, the more the kids are participating in it. So the first couple of weeks might be a bit quieter, right? As the kids are trying to figure out, okay, well, if I say something, are the kids going to laugh at me, right?
Right.
But as they realize, no, this is a pretty safe space, and the coach is there, and coaches always kind of build on this concept of respect, right? And they set those rules. It's not okay to laugh at somebody else. Even when you're playing the sport, it's not okay to laugh at other people if they don't make a great play, right? You have to support your team. So you build on that. And what we find is that as the weeks go on, the conversations get a little bit deeper because people are feeling safer.
And I don't know if you've had an example, but there might be a child, a boy in that room who's experienced it, right? He grew up in a household, maybe resides in a household where there is, gender abuse on either side, whether it's the dad against the mom or the mom against the dad. Has it led to conversations where all of a sudden, it talks more openly about that, and some of the kids maybe get the help that they need in their own home?
Well, we always try to let the coach know, because the coach, they're there to do a specific piece, and we don't want them to work outside of their lane either.
Yeah.
And if kids are disclosing something, that's why the sister agencies, including us, are there to support. So if in fact somebody comes forward, the coach can say, listen, let me get in touch with somebody who can help you through this. The expectation would not be for the coach
Yes.
to have to go into territory that they may not feel comfortable in. From my own experiences, and I've done a lot of work in dressing rooms, have I had experiences where I can tell that a child is seeing something? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I remember the one time I asked a question, who here can tell me what violence might look like? Well, as soon as the child started talking, it was so concrete.
Right.
It's like, okay, right? And that prompted us to kind of provide some support after to that child. But that's the whole great thing about coaching Boys into Men or Canada Clear, is that the coaches are fully supported by their local women's organization. So they're not left alone trying to, be the answer to everything. We're here to support for all of those things.
Have you, obviously, I think the response and the conversations that we would have with U12 or U13 kids would be very different than major junior or junior A players, just because they're older and, there's sex involved and, there's lots of other things in those conversations, Sue. I do believe that, like, hey, I might have a sister, I might have a mother, I have a friend, a girl buddy who, she was the victim of something like this. I don't want it, right? And maybe I've had it in my own home. However, those conversations there, do you find, is the impact even greater on kind of like the young, late teens, early adult men?
I think that when I'm thinking back of all the different times I've kind of interacted with different age groups, I find every age group I work with tends to have what we call the aha moment.
Okay.
I've worked with CFL players who are adults. On mentor action kind of, we do a lot, like I said, training, right? And one of the trainings I do talks all about what is violence, et cetera, right? And I remember there's a video that I show, and then we have a conversation after the video, and the video is pretty hard to watch for sure. And usually after the video, I can almost lay money that the players want to break. And they're usually leaving and they're calling either their mom, their girlfriend, their wife, because somewhere in their world, they've just realized that they'd seen something, or maybe a sister disclosed something and they didn't know what to do. And now that they've kind of seen, oh my goodness, I could have done more, or this is how I could have handled it better. They're getting that aha moment, right? So I think regardless of whatever age group we're in front of, we have the capacity to engage men and boys in different ways and to give them the tools that they need to feel better equipped to support people who are experiencing violence.
So it's Rich here, and it's so important because I like the cards that you talk about, because coaches are assumed to be great communicators, and they're not. Like I do goal setting with my players. Usually it's focused on their play, but it's a process that requires them to go to their coaches. We have communication back and forth, because it starts with very basic stuff like be more physical, and they can't measure that. They don't know what he said. So I think the cards seem to me to be brilliant, because we can't assume that we're dealing with Phil Jackson or Coach K or John Wooden types. I mean, there's a lot of us men. I mean, we're just not that great at communicators. And in this environment, I got to think it's really challenging. So those cards seem to me to be phenomenally helpful, because ultimately, this whole process to a large degree has got to depend on the ability of the coach to communicate.
Yeah, the cards are fantastic. They're so user-friendly. Just gives the coach an opportunity to take a look at, hey, this is the goal of this week. Here's some warm-ups and stuff for you to think about. Here's some potential questions you could ask. And hey, by the way, here's some great discussion points.
And I find
so it breaks it down.
We've done an episode last year on love, and we found that ultimately love is what drives dynasties. And one coach understands, and love manifests itself here, not in sick, syrupy kind of ways. It manifests itself in a coach loves a player by taking actions like this, right? You know, that doesn't mean be soft on players. It doesn't mean be, ultimately too forgiving. It's about directing them and guiding them. And I think that, you know, the coaches that will respond to this are likely to be the ones who, because Jason was touching on how do we vet or, you know, sort of weed out the bad apples. Well, one of the ways is something like this, because a guy who's an abusive individual by nature, not going to find this very comfortable. So this might be a great way of starting to identify some of those and cleaning up here, because there's still a lot of problems that we're not addressing.
Yeah, and I think too, when we recognize that when we're training, you know, kids in sport, right? You know, you think of football, you think of hockey, there's an element of violence that comes with that. We're training kids, right? But we also have a responsibility to train kids of how do you shut that violence off when you step off that field?
Yeah.
Because violence doesn't equal strength. Violence doesn't equal healthy masculinity, right? So how do you take all the things that you celebrate, whether it's in an arena, a rink, or a field, all the things that we celebrate, right? Oh, look at him. He just took that player out. Or he, you know, look at that great fight. How do you take those celebrating moments? And when that player comes off the field, how do you help them learn to shut that off? And that's a big piece that's missing.
Well, it's trying to help men. Like I in many contexts, I've said, you want to see the real heart of a Hell's Angel, hand him a baby. And it's helping us men to see the inner child, the people we're dealing with in ways that we can understand it. It's easy in the context of a small child, but these are kids that we're dealing with. And if you can start to see them that way and care for them and show them some kind of direction, I'm going to Calgary on Friday, and I played volleyball at the University of Calgary. I was the last cut on the team and was lucky enough to play for a man named Brad Kilb. I still go see him. You know, I'm in my 60s, and my most exciting part of Friday is going to be sitting down with Coach Kilb and just reminiscing and talking about. He was a good man. He taught us a lot, and I've got to know John Wooden. I don't know if you know Coach Wooden. He's one of the nicest men that ever coached, one of the most successful in history. And it was interesting to me, Sue. Like, I had a meeting scheduled to being set up by some friends of mine who played for Coach Wooden, and I couldn't get a lunch date for 9.5 months. Not because he was prioritizing anybody else over me. He didn't have a free date because he was so loving, so caring, and so giving. All his friends, all his players, they just wanted to continue to spend time with him. Coach was still having daily lunches at 98 with guys who he's changed their lives. And that's such an important role that these coaches play. We've got to figure out how to get more programs like this activated, because I do think that there's a lot of good men don't have enough tools.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, the majority of men are great men. There's a handful that are abusers, right? Those are the ones that are hitting headlines.
Yeah.
But the majority of men are great men, right? They have just lacked the safe space to have some of these conversations. And often they don't know what to do when they see something.
Like, how do we even start the conversation if you don't have a program like this? I think most men would be ill-equipped. One of the greatest blessings, Sue, I've had in my life, I have 4 daughters. And, they teach you a lot about how you shouldn't say it that way to mom. Opening your eyes to things that you don't even see.
I just would say, do they also remind you how mom should not speak to dad? Because it's got to be a two-way street.
Oh yeah, no,
right?
my girls are pretty aware. Yeah. Like when there's things happening, they know. But I think it's definitely both. But I think it's just valuable. I mean, whether it's a woman with 4 boys or a man with 4 girls, that's an incredible opportunity to learn the kind of things Sue's talking about in an environment that was completely unstructured. And so to me, it's been a great, I remember when we were having our 5th child, and a lot of guys said, "Oh, you're hoping for a boy." And I said, "Well, I really think so. I love
I know what I got, so it works out."
I love my girls, and they've taught me more than they realize actually.
So Sue, what is the what's kind of the growing phase? You mentioned obviously you have big goals. Like, how would you branch out to another province? Because we have people texting right now saying, if I was interested, how could I get involved? How would you be able to branch this out to Alberta?
Yeah, it's funny because I actually had one of the hockey associations reached out to me from Alberta, and I just met with them I don't know which one it was, but a couple weeks ago, because they had heard about the work that we do. So anybody who has questions, you're welcome to get a hold of me at Interval House of Hamilton. And I will gladly meet with you online and help you launch the project. We work very closely with the project's developer, who again, I mean, they're from the States. So what we've done on our end is bring a lot of Canadian content into the cards as well, ensuring that we're raising the voices of Indigenous women. Our program is completely translated into French for communities that are bilingual. So we've really brought a Canadian lens into the program, and would be happy to share those resources with whatever province or whatever team or whatever teacher would like to launch it. We would absolutely, totally support them.
Awesome stuff, Sue. Thanks so much for this and continued success.
Hey, and
thank
thanks
you so much.
for really good work you're doing, Sue. It's awesome.
Thank you. Have yourself a great night.
You too. That is Sue Taylor, Executive Director of Interval House of Canada. And they've teamed up. It's called Canada Clear, where they work with CFL teams. They worked with junior hockey teams. They work with minor hockey teams on coaching, leadership, equity, respect, really, trying to open up conversations. Because you know what? I think the challenge sometimes for a young child or a teenager, if you're in a household where there is gender-based violence, whether it's mom on dad or dad on mom, regardless, right? Mm-hmm. Whether it's physical, whether it's verbal, mental, doesn't matter. I don't really know what to say because they're in a real tough spot because it's like, well, some days I really like dad. Some days I really like mom.
Right. Well, they usually love their parents,
yeah,
despite all of this,
yes,
right?
Yes.
And it's a tough one.
Yeah. And even if you're in a good situation, anybody out there who's lived without, violence or sexual abuse, physical abuse, you probably deem yourself pretty lucky when you talk to people who have endured it, right? So you look and say, man, if we could find a way to lower it and limit it to other people, that would be better.
Yeah.
And, just starting conversations is never a bad thing. So I love the fact that they've teamed up with sports to do this because I think it's a way to have conversation, and it's 15 minutes. That's what I like. It was 15 minutes a week. It's not like, oh my God, I want to sign up because people are like, I want to sign up for sports and I only want to talk about sports. Well, it's not really how it is.
Well,
it's one conversation a week.
But I like the conversation she talked about having that mother had with her son on the way home.
Yes.
The coach said
that starts
how many
other
times, but how many times is that conversation the coach said?
Yeah.
Right. And what he says is really important. So this is, to me, a pretty interesting program.
Yeah. Let's take a quick break. We'll return on the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Day or night, tasting just so right. You can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle noodle.
Made for some rough roads, but it means trails are now packed and ready for action. Don't miss out on riding adventures this winter with a Ski-Doo from Riverside Honda and Ski-Doo. Work or play with new 2026 Generation 5 models with class-leading design and power. And right now, take advantage of 5.99% financing OAC. Only at Riverside Honda and Ski-Doo. 15 Inglewood Drive in St. Albert. And always at riversidehonda.com. Shop local, shop Canadian.
Reduce joint pain and inflammation with Cannabis Sativa Seed Oil Gel Caps. Packed with a perfect ratio of omegas 3, 6, and 9 to support optimal health. Find this vegan, gluten-free formula at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month.
Edmonton's go-to station for all things sports is Sports 1440.
From Low Tide to Kevin Karius and Jason Gregor, we deliver the latest on your favorite teams.
Tune in 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
To Sports 1440.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Did you know The Brick is proudly Canadian owned and operated? We started right here in Canada over 50 years ago. Now, our 5,000 team members are proud to be your neighbor in more than 200 communities across Canada. And we support all Canadians with a growing selection of quality made Canadian products and manufacturers. Nobody knows more about furnishing Canadian homes at the guaranteed lowest price than us. The Brick, saving you more.
Visit thebrick.com and use our store locator to find a brick store near you.
Happy New Year from Metal Supermarkets. They'd like to thank you for making them your place to shop for metal and for quick, efficient precision cutting and metal bending. If your resolutions for 2026 include a new project, commercial or residential, they're here to help. And speaking of resolutions, I've taken up pickleball.
11-0. I win.
Great. Now I can nap.
It's best of 3.
Not in my kitchen, kid. Metal Supermarkets, the local convenience stores for Southside, West End, metalsupermarkets.com.
Portions of the Tower brought to you by Cantork, made in Canada, made for Canada, where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.348. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Rich Winter. They're in the business of sports, and I always like touching on different topics. Some of you might not agree with it sometimes, and that's all right. But that's how our conversations get started. So I'm curious to see what happens with Canada Clear and where it goes. And
yeah,
you know what, it's something that could spread, and conversations are a good thing. No question about it. And I think it's all you got to do is look at statistics in society, and you're checking out that Childhood 2.0 on Netflix. When you look at the pressures of peers as teenagers, especially now where everything gets shared and seen. It's for a lot of us, we didn't have to grow up that way, right? So it's just different challenges right now, and how quickly things get put in front of you, right? Like you walk around, like I see kids like it's like their phone is their Linus. Yeah. Right? It's a security blanket, right? They got to carry their phone. They can't walk, and I'm just like, why? Like I just think it's so sad. Where it's just like, leave your phone. You don't need to carry your phone in your hand everywhere you go. You just don't need it.
I don't know why I got this on my Instagram feed the other day, but there was somebody interviewing a child, and he said, "Why don't you have a cell phone? You're 17." And his response was, "Because I have really good parents."
Yeah.
And I like what my daughters have done. They've got the kids' Apple Watches, no phones.
Yeah.
Right? So there's very little you can do on the Apple Watch, and you can control it. Now they can communicate, they can text, they can call their friends. But I mean, I think we really got to think. There's so many levels that this is. The dopamine's killing their way of approach to life. But it's just, I can't say enough about that Childhood 2.0. I think I'm pretty aware. I'm representing young athletes. I'm involved around young people all the time. I watched that Childhood 2.0, and it's on Prime or Netflix. I don't know which one. And what they're being exposed to will blow your mind. You would never think of it.
Yeah.
Because we didn't live in that world.
No.
We go, holy smokes. And what was interesting to me about that was listening to the young men talk amongst each other, that they're feeling pressure to do things that a few bad apples are doing online, and they're not comfortable. The girls are very uncomfortable. But, like when they were asked things like, well, if my parents knew what was happening on my cell phone, I wouldn't have a cell phone. Like, it's just clear that we as parents are so far out of the loop and have no idea what's going on. If I can get anybody to do anything, sit down with your better half and watch Childhood 2.0. It'll just give you an awareness that you need to help your kids.
Now, speaking of the business, we're we're officially 2 months from the NHL trade deadline. And this year it's a little bit different because there's a 3-week break in between it.
Yeah, that's interesting.
You got the Olympics, and some players will go away for the Olympics, and some it can be a reset. Others unfortunately will have it stagnated because they'll get injured here in the next 3 weeks, and then they'll have to rehab during the break. So there's going to be
two of them will fall on the beach or slip on some ice or something at a beach.
Yeah, like there'll be lots of different ways to go about it, Rich. It's been a long time since the NHL's been in the Olympics.
Yeah.
Right. So it was midseason. Now, we did have the 4 Nations break last year, but it was fewer players because there was only 4 countries and what you have now. And it wasn't the grand scope.
And it was a smaller break.
Yeah, smaller break and everything like that. So from your previous experience, how do you find, can a player who's struggling, can that 3-week break be that beneficial? Like, can it be really used as a reset? Like, just go away, go on a beach or go wherever you want to go for a week and literally don't think about it. Then come back, and does it work? Can it refresh some guys? And I think I'm asking that because a lot of people are hoping that maybe it is a guy like Trent Frederick, for instance. But there's other players around the league. He's not the only guy struggling. There's lots of them. But you've gone through it multiple times with clients when there was Olympics happened every 4 years back in 6 and 10 and 14. Did you ever notice that it worked?
Well, it's only 2 ways it can work. It's a mental break. I don't think that has any impact. I mean, if you have an inability to focus and work on your game and have a Kobe Bryant Mamba type mentality, a break or no break won't have any impact. Where it has impact is that guy with the nagging injury, who's get to sit back and relax, do a little massage, spend some time on the beach. So, we don't know which injury, which team. I mean, but there's a lot of teams this year. I mean, there's a lot of guys on IR.
Yeah,
and
a lot.
So from that perspective, those guys are going to really benefit. Some of them won't be going on vacation because they'll be staying home with their favorite therapist, right? Physical therapist. So from that perspective, it helps. But I think at the end of the day, it's just the clarity of just getting away. It doesn't hurt them, but I don't think it's not going to turn anybody into a mental giant. It's not going to help. I don't know Trent Frederick at all, but if he's lost his confidence, if he's struggling mentally, unless he's going to therapy, every day on his vacation, it's probably not going to have any impact there. But there'll be a lot of guys who are just looking at this going, oh man, thank goodness I didn't get selected. I really need a break. My knee, it's just killing me. And people, and this condensed season, I don't know you guys, I'm exhausted trying to follow the games, right? Like, geez, they played yesterday. They got a back-to-back and then they got a day off. They got another one. Like, it's just trying to even keep up with your clients. I think the tough thing about it, and it's the only time you can have it is, the only sensible time, obviously you can't have the Olympics in July, but it does really, it really wears and tear on a lot of players. So it's tough.
Yeah, I would definitely think so. So less than ideal for sure. Rich will be back next Wednesday. Drive safe, get home, enjoy Wednesday, and we will chat with you then.
All right, have a good week.
That's Rich Winter joins us there every Wednesday for the Business of Sports. We did an hour earlier just to so it would work out with Sue, and it went pretty well. Coming up, of course, we have Tater, 2-minute warning. We got your Remchuk, Spec, Tyson Ash. There's a big power outage going on, so we've got the backup generators going. So hopefully that keeps us on the air. So I might have some technical difficulties here in the next bit, but the wonders of power. So we'll see how that goes. Also, the NHL, if you saw the Seattle Kraken, we haven't really talked about it, but the Seattle freaking Kraken won again last night. Winners of 4 in a row. They're 8-0-1. They have moved into third place in the Pacific Division. They jumped over both the Kings and the Sharks and the Ducks, because all 3 of those Kings, Sharks, and Ducks have 45 points. The Kraken now up to 47 points. It's a wild one to look at. And Jordan Eberle, former Oiler, man, he's kind of leading the charge for the Kraken right now. So we'll talk a little bit about that and more. But first, we'll get to the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Loca. Quality markets, gourmet meals where it just got easier for you, because now you can order online, meals.loca.ca. Chef-crafted meals as low as $10 per serving. Book yours today, meals.loca.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
5 games on the ice tonight in the NHL, getting going at 5. You got the Caps and the Stars, Flames in Montreal, Blackhawks host the Blues, Sens taking on the Mammoth, and the Kings and Sharks. Speaking of the Kings, They announced that Corey Perry has been designated on the non-roster playing status. No further details were released. The 4-year-old winger has 9 goals and 21 points in 35 games so far this season. In the association, Toronto Raptors in action taking on the Charlotte Hornets at 5. Also the Wizards in Philly. Celtics host the Nuggets, Clippers, and the Knicks. And Thunder host the Jazz, Lakers in San Antonio, and the Warriors up against the Bucks. Edmonton Oilers looking on the road tonight in Swift Current. We'll take on the Broncos at 6. And in the PWHL, Seattle and Boston. That one starts at 5. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Tyler Yaremchuk of Oilers Nation. Ask 5 questions and hear another edition of Cam Tate's 2-minute warning. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray Radio Station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
When the ground freezes, you wonder how anything can get done. And instead of staying outside in temperatures that would make a polar bear cry, you head inside where it's toasty and warm. But that's not what GS Construction does. Because while the ground freezes above, we plan below, rebuilding and revitalizing the systems that keep our communities working year after year. Now, don't worry. GS Construction promises to do everything safely and efficiently, and we'll wear our extra warm clothing outside. For more on what we do, visit gsconstruction.ca.
I skipped breakfast this morning. Stay out of my way.
Don't threaten me with your bad choices.
No worries. A booster bar from Booster Juice will fix me.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, because they're new. Snack-sized bars packed with seeds, pecans, gluten-free oats, all sorts of good stuff.
That sounds lovely, actually.
2 different flavors to try, too. Coconut pecan booster bars and harvest booster bars. Want to skip breakfast with me?
I take it back. You make good choices.
Booster Juice, Canadian-born, blending since 1999.
Japa Machinery Group knows that XCMG may not roll off the tongue, but Japa's team will help keep your construction jobs rolling on time and on budget with heavy equipment sales and rentals. Visit japamachinery.com to find out more.
This hockey season, before every game, check out the pregame show with Andrew Walker on Sports 1440. It's brought to you by Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Visit titansupply.ca.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection? Incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need, Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Help your body manage stress with Cannabis Sativa Seed Oil Plus. This liquid formula is fortified with nutritional yeast, providing B vitamins for stress reduction and probiotics for intestinal health. Find it at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV. This is the time of year people make their New Year's resolutions. If they're lucky, they'll keep that up till February. So I propose another resolution. This year, resolve to be camp ready. Now, what do I mean by that? At Noble RV, camp ready means never wondering if your RV will be ready for May long weekend. You know it'll be ready because you made the decision back in the winter. You know, now.
Is Camp Ready something I can get from Noble RV?
That's right, Bob. Camp Ready is our 12-month RV maintenance plan. It includes winterization in the fall, startup in the spring, roof assessments every year, and all your scheduled maintenance. So when you want to get to the great outdoors, you already know you're Camp Ready.
How do I get to be Camp Ready, Rick?
We're starting small, Bob. Just 100 Camp Ready plans are available at No Bull right now.
And that's No Bull.
NoBullRV.ca.
Tonight, I'm gonna have myself a real good time. I feel alive. The world turns inside out.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio, from weekend warriors to professional athletes, kids playing soccer to grandparents in the garden, rotator cuff tears and tendonitis to post-surgical knees and hips. We fix your body. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 4 o'clock. How are you, Jason Gregor? Connor Alley, Sports 1440. Sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Oilers, of course, en route to Winnipeg today. They will take on the Jets tomorrow. The Winnipeg Jets are in a whole world of hurt right now. They are winless in 10. They've only won 1 of their last 14 games. They are in the basement of the National Hockey League. They have gone from first to worst. Now, no team in the modern era has ever went from first all the way down to dead last. The worst drop, if you wanted to call it, would be in, oh man, what year was that? I want to say it was the 93 Rangers, 94 Rangers, or was when they went for 24, right? To 19th, 24 team league. But no one's ever gone from the penthouse to the outhouse. And the Jets, now, that doesn't mean they'll actually finish there. Because I look at their team and their roster and I still think that they could be better than Vancouver and some other teams. But man, right now, Canada ain't looking good at the bottom of the NHL standings. You got the Jets 32nd. You got the Canucks 31st. You got the Flames 30th. So those are 3. Now, the Flames will say, hey, we're only 7 points out of the playoffs. Sure. You got to jump a lot of teams to get to that playoff spot. All right. So I think it'll be fascinating to me to see how these 3 Canadian markets maneuver leading up to the NHL trade deadline. Throw in the Chicago Blackhawks, the Blues. The Nashville Predators had their little run, but come on. Now, I know that last night was the final game of a 7-game road trip, although they'd had 2 days off in between. But still, I watched the Preds. They're not a playoff team. So, how quickly are these teams going to look and say, hey, let's get on it. Now, maybe they wait, because if you're an NHL team who you get to the Olympic break and you haven't made a trade yet, why would you make one and take all that cap space for 2 weeks, right? I could see them talking to teams and saying, hey, you know what? Yeah, we're going to make a deal here, but we're going to wait to announce it until after the Olympic break, because that's 2 extra weeks, man. That's a significant amount of cap, right? If you're really tight against it, every dollar matters in a cap world for the teams that are up against the cap. So I don't know if we're going to see a lot of trades here in the next month leading up to the Olympic break. Be funny to see. Greg, did you say the Kraken jumped the shark? Good one, Trip. Good one. They did indeed jump over the San Jose Sharks in the Western Conference in the Pacific Division. They are now 3rd in the Pacific and ahead of both the Kings and the Sharks and the Ducks for the wild card spots. And right now you would have 5 teams from the Pacific. It's interesting. Like, the Pacific has the lowest point total from a leader. The Oilers and the Golden Knights lead the division with 48 points. That's the lowest. You have the Hurricanes lead their division with 55. Tampa leads their division with 55. And then Colorado leads their division with 69. So not really close. Now, the Edmonton Oilers, since December 1st, have the 8th best record in the NHL. Like, they have been playing better hockey lately. And they're in a stretch here where they play what? I think it's 3 of their next 4 on the road, right? Maybe even 4 of their next 6. And then after that, it's all, because you're You're on the road in Winnipeg, then you're home against the Kings, then you're on the road in Chicago, Nashville, then you're home against the Islanders, then you're in Vancouver. So this is a stretch of 6 where they're in, 6 different cities. Really kind of the last difficult travel stretch of the season for the Edmonton Oilers. Like they have a 4-game road trip later on. I think it's in March, but I think it's 4 and 7, so not a crazy road trip at all. And the Jets aren't very good right now. Doesn't mean that the Oilers will guaranteed win. Just the Jets aren't playing very well. Nashville, Chicago, they're not dominant teams. Vancouver's not a very good team. The Islanders, pretty competitive. And the Kings, they're competitive. So, but still, you look at the Edmonton Oilers, and the only team above them in the standings over their next 6 games are the New York Islanders. They've got 52 points. They're 24, 15, and 4. So they're 4 points up on the Oilers. Everybody else below them in the standings. So they've got a stretch here, even though it's a little tougher with travel. This should be a stretch where they can make some hay, shall we say. You would hope anyway. Hey, Gregor, what's the hardest part about travel for the team? I've always been curious. Well, it's just the wear and tear in your body where, you're going, from different time zone. The Oilers are going, so this is what they're going to do. They're going central to mountain time. Then they go back out to Nashville and Chicago. And Nashville is pretty deep south, even though it's in the central time zone. Then they come back to the mountain. Then they go to Vancouver. So that part is challenging. Ask anybody who travels. The wear and tear can catch up to you. Now, I know that they travel in the best possible travel conditions. Sure. It doesn't make it impossible. It just makes it a little bit more challenging. But their toughest part of their travel is well in the rearview mirror. Right? The Oilers have already played all 16 games against the East on the road. They've played 23 games against the East this year. They only have 9 games left against the Eastern Conference this season. All of them are in Edmonton, starting with the Islanders on next Thursday. Edmonton's schedule sets up quite well. And that's what I've said. They got through the slog, and they're lucky because the other teams are slogging, right? Vegas hasn't been able to kind of get on track at all. And now you've got Seattle, but are you really scared that the Seattle Kraken are a team that you're like, oh, geez, they could really roll? They're having a great run. Hey, maybe I'm wrong in Seattle. Maybe, you know what? Maybe they can continue to do it. Like, they don't score very much. And I just wonder at what point does that become a problem? Just like, hey, the one order problem is they give up a lot of goals. And they got to fix that. No question about it. Hey, Gregor, with the Henrique injury, does that mean the Oilers would still have to trade away someone to activate Jari? Well, it depends on the severity of the Henrique injury. When you say out a little while, that's telling me, and I got a text, I don't think Henrique's going to be back, maybe before the All-Star break, or not All-Star break, the Olympic break. So I look at that and say, okay, that's, it's basically a month. And if that's the case, then what they could do, now I'd have to crunch the numbers. If you put him on LTIR, I still don't know if he's on LTIR, if I'd have to add it all up, and I don't have time to do it on the fly. But if he was on LTIR, because he's a $3 million player, I thought they had, when they get Jari, I thought they still had to, take about 3.4 or 5 off of it to make it work. So I don't know. What they could do then is maybe just carry one less forward, right? And you'd have to send someone else down. So that would be the one advantage there. And then it could work, right? Just carry a 22-man roster, have 13 forwards instead of 14. So that would be an easy solution. Because if you look at Adam Henrique, and he's easily going to miss 10 games. It would, like, when they say a little while, 10 games for him would be on the 24th against Washington. So not even that long. Like, that's only 7. That's not even long enough. Because if you put a guy on LTIR, it's got to be 24 days and 10 games. And the Oilers schedule, they play tomorrow, then they play every second day, mixed in with 2 sets of back-to-back. So they actually have, a fairly condensed schedule, but not overly challenging with the opponents. And most of the games are on home ice, so it's a benefit. So you could do it. It's too premature for me to know how long he'll be out, but now you could, if I look at Henrik on, they got to free up some money because we got a lot of people texting, hey, what about Jake DeBrusk? Well, Jake DeBrusk is 5.75. You'd have to move out that much money to make the deal work. So if Mangiapane is 3.6, you're still short 2.1 mil. So who else are you moving out with that Vancouver's going to want to take in a deal for Jake DeBrusk? Hey, Greg's, when Jari's healthy, is it a lock that Pickard gets sent down? I think Ingram is the guy going forward. He might even be the starting job from Jari. Lance, I don't know about the starting job yet. It will be interesting to me because now keep in mind that Connor Ingram has to play 10 games before he requires waivers. He's played 5. Now, Pickard played unreal in Winnipeg last Thursday or 2 Thursdays ago, right? Is he going to get the start in Winnipeg again? He might. Actually, it wasn't a Thursday. It was a Monday. It was 10 days ago. And I could see that. So then Pickard's that one. So Ingram's LA, then he splits. That's 7. To get to 10, he'll play one of the other back-to-backs. That'd be 8. Maybe the under game. That's 9. If Jari's coming back the 20th, the 22nd, give or take, strategically, you could have it so Ingram hasn't played 10 games yet. Now, Ingram's played, I know some people look and they just look at his overall save percentage, but in 4 of 5 games, he's had a save percentage of 9.3 or higher. Pretty solid. He had the one game against Boston. His save percentage looks terrible. And a small sample size, if you only look at save percentage, you'd look and say, oh, he hasn't played well. But no, he's played quite well in 4 out of 5 games. Just had one off night. That's going to happen. Right? If it's 1 out of 5 or 6, it's way better than 1 out of 2. Right? Ideally, maybe you have 1 out of 10. That would probably be realistic. So I don't think it's a lock that Pickard's going down, but I think there's a decent chance. And then, or they get into the conversation, do we carry, and I'd have to crunch the numbers, see if it works. It might not even work, depending on where they're at cap-wise, but would they be interested in carrying 3 goalies and 13 forwards instead of 14 forwards and 2 goalies? Just because what if you put Pickard on waivers and he gets claimed? Well, now what do you do? If one of Ingram and Jari gets banged up, who's your backup? So we'll see. If you were listening on radio, I think we are still streaming online, but we've had the big power outage, and so have been backup generators now for quite some time, but even those are starting to wear down. So we'll have to see what's going to go on there. But you can check us out still streaming online at sports1440.ca. So we'll take a quick break. We'll come back. It's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
Legacy Heating and Cooling offers no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. So when you wake up to no heat, call Legacy. Call Legacy. If you need it immediately with no overtime rates. If you need it immediately and want to combo it with AC. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. No payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. It could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
The new double cheesy melt at McDonald's. We're talking 2 juicy, mouth-watering 100% Canadian beef patties, 2 slices of cheesy goodness, with even more melty, cheesy sauce on top. topped with pickles, then crispy and grilled onions. The way it all comes together, you don't just eat it, you melt into it. The double cheesy melt, only at McDonald's. For a limited time only at participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
Wanted local sports on weekends. Saturday mornings at 9, check out the Saturday Sports Setup, where we'll tee up what's happening on the weekend sports scene. Tune in Saturday morning at 9 on Sports 1440.
Reduce joint pain and inflammation with Cannabis Sativa Seed Oil Gel Caps, packed with a perfect ratio of omegas 3, 6, and 9 to support optimal health. Find this vegan, gluten-free formula at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
I'm tired of waking up tired. Waking up tired.
Yeah, waking up tired.
Are you tired of waking up tired? Come visit our sleep experts at the Brick Mattress Store. Get Canada's guaranteed lowest prices on all things sleep. Plus, try your new mattress for 6 months. If you don't love it, we'll find one you do. Some conditions apply. Stop waking up tired. Get the right mattress guaranteed. Only at the Brick Mattress Store.
Welcome to Uncommon. Welcome to Subaru. Engineered for Canadian winters, built for real-life confidence. Tackle the ice and snow with Subaru's symmetrical all-wheel drive, delivering the power, control, stability, and grit you need. And when the temperature plummets, you'll cruise in comfort with heated seats and heated steering wheel. All this plus peace of mind with Subaru's top safety pick status for 19 years running. This winter, it's time to get you into a Subaru. Visit Subaru.ca today.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China, so no tariffs. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 EEE. Buy quality, buy Canadian. And support Canada West and Diablo, the two best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
It's the place for Honda. It's the place for service too. I love it. I love my Honda place. Would you buy? Would you buy? Would you buy?
You know, this year I can't decide what to work on for my New Year's resolution. See, my confidence, my appearance, or my general happiness.
Why not improve all three by finally addressing your hair loss? Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. Receding hairlines and bald spots can chip away at your self-image, make you look older, and feel unattractive. Let's discuss your options for regaining a full natural head of hair and make this the year you get your mojo back. Book a free first consultation today at drvanceelliott.com.
The faster we're falling, we're stopping and stalling, we're running in circles again. Just as things were looking up, you said it wasn't good enough, but still we're trying one more time. Maybe we're just trying too hard. When really
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. The Oilers are back in action, and OTR is ready to be your hockey headquarters. 5 Canadian and 69-cent wings. Plus, you can play, score, and win every game. See more at ontherocksyeg.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
421. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halle, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. If you're on radio, you're probably not listening to us because the transmitter is down. Big power outage. Hoping to get it fixed, but online and streaming is working. So you can check over there. Send in a text. Con sends you the links. It's all good. We do have lots of text still flying in. 833-401-1440. Realtor Dan asks, could they waive Frederick, assign him to Bakersfield? No one will pick him up, and 6 weeks in the minors could be good for him. Best case scenario, someone picks him up on waivers, but doubtful. So, well, hey, I think we might be back on radio. So that's a good sign. Maybe, hey, that was a short outage. So that's nice. Nice. I like it. So it was only down momentarily. Perfect. Thank you very much for letting us know. I love it. It's awesome. Awesome. Now, first of all, Frederick has a no movement clause, so he can't be waived. Veterans don't agree to that. It's not going to happen. So when you have a full no movement clause, can't be put on waivers. So he will not be put on waivers. And who knows? Maybe he'll go play some pickup shinny over the break. But he's just, he's got to work his way through it, man. There's no perfect scenario. There's no guaranteed success for a player. And some guys don't recover for the whole year. He's not the only one. We go around the league. Right? I understand it when you only kind of focus everything on one team. We could go through the some other guys around the league that are struggling. Maybe not to the same extent, but very close, actually. There's a few guys in the NHL that are actually still looking for their first goal of the season, which isn't great. Now, let's get to the Oil Report, brought to you by Go Auto. Shop goauto.ca. Over 15,000 vehicles to choose from, 28 new vehicle brands, and 69 locations. They will have every vehicle you need at goauto.ca. Tyler Yaremchuk from Oilers Nation, Daily Faceoff, joins us. Ty, the Leon Draisaitl, Connor McDavid dominance against the Nashville Predators continues. It is wild because it's not like Nashville isn't aware of this. They just can't stop him, right? Like Draisaitl, he goes into the game at a 2.44 points per game average in 15 games and increases it because he scores 3 points.
Yeah. I mean, you look at that first goal last game. Leon Draisaitl has the puck, whatever, on the half wall. Connor McDavid, and I love Jason Demers, did a great breakdown of it on Twitter, but like that's a set play by the Oilers. Connor McDavid is almost still at the other blue line when Leon Draisaitl has the puck on the half wall, and he just zips in. And like, what are you going to do? Your penalty killers all took the zone entry well. You kept Edmonton the outside, but then Connor McDavid's coming full steam at you while all of your penalty killers are standing still. And then what's UC Saros supposed to do? Like, he's in an impossible spot. So, I mean, I'm sure Nashville would love to stop Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. Maybe don't put yourself short-handed, I guess, but penalties happen. I mean, the penalty shot too, like, you feel for UC Saros in that instance. What's he supposed to do? He played it perfectly. He read McDavid's move to the back end, and McDavid just has obviously all the time in the world on a penalty shot to flip it over him. Like, these are things where like you almost just feel bad that it's Nashville again, because it's not like these are results of glaring Nashville mistakes or they're leaving Leon Draisaitl wide open in his office. They're just getting victimized by two elite players doing unstoppable things.
Yeah, they're very good. Kapanen comes back in, and you know what? He adds some speed. He's strong in the puck. He's obviously physical, gets a goal and an assist in the game. His assist was definitely more impressive than the goal. He kind of joked about it. He didn't even really celebrate the deflection, but his first marker of the season. And he also, due to the Adam Henrique injury, and he's going to be out a little while, I don't expect him back before the Olympic break, to be honest. So I think they'll have a little run here. And the guy who's probably going to benefit the most is Curtis Lazar, because Curtis Lazar, when he's been in the lineup here for the last 6 weeks, been pretty solid in a very depth role, but solid in his role.
Yeah, he's got more goals than Adam Henrique and Trent Frederick on the year, and he's played like half the amount of games that the two of them have. So he's up to 3 goals on the season now, but obviously you're not looking for the offense from Curtis Lazar. But I just love the fact that he competes, right? He's willing to throw pucks on net. It's not a guy who's trying to make the perfect, pretty passing play. He just plays a very simple, straight line kind of hockey game. If there's a guy in front of him, he'll hit him. If there's open space, like, he's going to skate hard. And if the puck's on his stick, it's usually off it pretty fast as well, whether it's him dumping it in, just not making a mistake at the blue line, whether it's like we saw last night, throwing a puck on net and then hammering himself to the front of the crease to try get his own rebound. Like, that sort of simplicity, I think, is what the Oilers need more of in their bottom six. Guys who go out there and it's, I'm not going to make the prettiest plays, but I'm going to win my battles through sheer effort. I'm going to make an impact through just putting in the work, trying to make my own bounces, and then taking advantage of a few opportunities. Like, I've been blown away with how good Curtis Lazar's looked. I know he's one of those guys who, coming into camp, talked about how last season he was never fully healthy and just wasn't quite right. That got me feeling a little bit optimistic, but honestly, I didn't even think, and I'm not trying to say he's some amazing player, but like, I didn't think he had this kind of play in him. I thought he'd be a lot slower than he is. He's been really, really impressive. He's, like you said, maybe lucky that Adam Henrique's out, that he'll get an extended look here, but he's deserved to stay in the lineup.
Oh yeah. Like, and you know what? I liked his response to the questions. Like, hey, do I want to play more? Of course I do. But you got to understand your role. And he goes, hey, I'm playing limited minutes. There's guys all over the world would love to play limited minutes in the NHL. So it's all about how you approach it. You can look at it like, oh, woe is me, and I'm not playing enough. And of course you want to play more. But guess what? If I don't do it, there's thousands of players who would line up to play 7-8 minutes a night in the NHL. That's just a true fact, right? So, and Lazar, I'll say this, like, Savoy, I thought did a good job on that goal. Janmark, same thing. But Lazar is just quietly, he looks a lot fresher. I asked him about it, and yeah, he said last year was a gong show. Even took him maybe a month to kind of really get back up to speed, but he looks a little bit quicker. He's good on faceoffs, and he's the right shot. Like, he's a lock as the 4C now for me. And it's going to be a matter of, how long does Roslovic stay as the 3C? That's going to be the question.
Yeah, I do think that Roslovic, Savoy, Howard, I kind of like the look of that line last night. I know it was not a huge sample, but the numbers were good. And the other thing that might work, if Knobloch wants to keep running with that trio and maybe run with a fourth line, that would be, who are the leftover parts there? Janmark, Lazar, and I would assume Trent Frederick's the one who draws back in. Like, that's maybe more of just like a workhorse, get the puck in deep kind of line. But if you're on home ice, maybe you can afford to have a third line that's Savoy, Howard, and Roslovic down the middle, and you can pick and choose their matchups, pick and choose the zone starts they get. Not that you don't want to be playing them a lot of minutes, but you can pick and choose the spots for a third line like that if your fourth line is one that's kind of the opposite of it and counteracts it. So the fact they play so much on home ice, I think it's a green light for Knobloch to keep a high energy, we'll call it high offense third line together.
Yeah, no, that's it's true. I know everybody, it's not everybody, but there's a small contingent of people that they need someone to rip on all the time. And this one player he's the bane of the existence. And if they got rid of him, the whole team would be better. And it's kind of comical, but Alec Regula is that guy. Alec Regula is exactly this year how people talked about Ty Emberson last year. He's not good enough. He's never going to play. And look at Ty Emberson now. Experience matters. And Alec Regula is a guy who's making more mistakes than he would like. And it looks like a guy whose timing isn't where it was. He probably a little bit of a fish out of water at times, trying to play catch up after a year off. I think once Jake Wallman comes back, it's kind of obvious to me who's coming out of the lineup. And then you probably slot him in, due to injuries or other things. But it's way too early to want to give up on Alec Regula, in my opinion.
Oh, I agree 100%. Like, and this isn't not that Alec Regula is not a proud, confident player, but I'm sure if you injected some truth serum into him, he'd probably be like, you know what? I don't think I'm a top 4 defenseman in the NHL yet. And that's how they're playing him right now. And the other part of it is it's not like they have, and listen, I don't like roasting Darnell Nurse. I think it's a very overplayed thing, but like, it's not like they're playing him with a big, steady, grizzled veteran. Nurse has been in the league for a long time, but we've seen time and time again with Darnell Nurse that when he's asked to carry a pairing, the results fall off. He's a high event defenseman for the Edmonton Oilers. So you're not exactly putting Regula out there with, a 36-year-old shutdown defenseman, putting him in sheltered third pairing minutes. Like, I don't have a problem with the player. I see the parts of his game that the organization likes, and I see why they want to keep him around. And I think it was totally justified to keep him over Troy Stetcher, who I know is having a great run in Toronto, but you need to keep at least one eye on the future here. Like, I like that they chose Regula over him, but I also think they're just misusing him at the moment. Putting him with Darnell Nurse is not putting either player in a position to succeed. I would like to see Chris Knobloch jumble up the pairings a little bit. I'm someone who is in the camp of I'd like Darnell Nurse with Evan Bouchard for a little bit. The numbers with those two have always been great. And then, maybe Ekholm, not that it solves the issue of Regula having to play a lot, but maybe that's just a bit more of a steadying partner for him. And you're right, when Wallman's back, it's very clearly Regula coming out of the lineup. And even then, I still wouldn't mind seeing Nurse and Bouchard together when Wallman's back and jumbling up the pairings below that a little bit, even just to kind of get some guys familiar with one another.
Yeah. Regula, just some of his puck decisions right now, and I know people want to blame Nurse all the time, but last night I watched that game. I watched the first period right from the vantage point in the Oilers zone behind the net, and I'm like, Regula I could not believe some of the decisions he made with the puck. I just he's passed, and I'm like, why are you passing it there? Right. And the Oilers in the first period got away with him. I counted 6 passes right up the middle of the ice that Nashville just didn't take advantage of. From behind Draisaitl had one, Bouchard had one, Regula had a few. It was an ugly period for some questionable decisions with the puck. And the Oilers still aren't where their game needs to be defensively overall, but their offense has played infinitely better. And last night, Connor Ingram, when called upon, made some key stops. And 4 out of 5 starts, he's had a quality start.
Yeah, Ingram and that one save that got the crowd really going when he kind of reached back with the glove. I think that might have been in the third period, but that was a great stop. You were talking about the turnovers too. There were a couple of moments where it was too easy to make the joke of, does Spencer Stastny still think he's on the Predators? There was twice, I think they were both in the first period, where he put one right on the tape of a Nashville Predator. And it was like, what are you doing, man? But Ingram was excellent. And Pickard, as much as there's been those few games where you're kind of like, all right, is this the last chance? And then he goes and plays well. I think it's very easy to see who the better goalie is. This job is Connor Ingram's. And based on how they've been giving out the starts, Greg's, I think the organization kind of knows that they want to give this job to Connor Ingram, right? They gave him the back-to-back starts against Calgary. They've kind of been treating him, I think, a little bit more like the starter. I think when Jari's back, it's going to be Jari Ingram. There's no doubt in my mind, at least.
When you look at tomorrow night, and Calvin Pickard 10 days ago played unreal in Winnipeg. You probably got to go back to Pickard, don't you, tomorrow night?
Maybe to my last point, it'll be really telling if they don't, right? If you're playing a team who Pickard was just sensational against in the same building, all that, if they go back to Connor Ingram again, I think that tells us all we need to know about how they view this goaltending battle. But I think I'd agree with you. I'd have no problem going back to Calvin Pickard. I didn't like that last goal he gave up against the Flyers on Saturday. That one was ugly, but I don't hang that loss on Pickard. I thought the team in general was just very, very sloppy and sluggish in that game. They didn't deserve the win. So yeah, I have no problem going back to Pickard tomorrow. And then what does that set up for the next week? Because that's the other thing too. They play so much hockey. It's including last night, it's 16 games in 30 days or something like that. You do need to have some amount of a rotation here. You got the back-to-backs coming next week. So yeah, I think you can go Pickard tomorrow, Ingram Saturday, split the back-to-backs, and then go from there.
Yeah, because you would, you have 2 back-to-backs next week, basically Monday, Tuesday, Saturday, Sunday. So the Leafs split there, and I would guess Ingram would play the Islander game. So it's 3-2 that week. And I'd probably play Pickard in Winnipeg because they're going to have to play one of the two, and then I have Ingram against the divisional game against LA, right? Then they split. Then you go in. Plus, if, and I agree with you, it's probably going to be Ingram. But if you're the Edmonton Oilers, do you carry 14 forwards and 2 defensemen, or would you consider carrying 3 goalies until the roster expands? Just in case, because, hey, Jari's got some injury issues, right? History. Because let's say you put Pickard on waivers, and I'm not saying he get claimed, but what if he does get claimed? Then what do you do? So I wonder if they would consider going with 3, 13, and 7.
So there's a couple of reasons why I'm okay with it. I think a month ago, if you'd asked me, I would have said no way. I think even a couple of days ago, the cap crunch, I had Hart Levine on my show the other day, and to get both Wallman and Jari on the roster was going to be difficult to get them both back off of LTIR. Now that Adam Henrique,
Mangiapane's got to go.
Yeah, Mangiapane's got to go, and that would obviously solve the problem. Or even now that Henrique is hurt, if you think he's out until at least the break, that's an easy LTIR spot as well. The other factor is I didn't think Calvin Pickard would get claimed a month ago, but now I think you can kind of look to a couple of situations around the league. look at Carolina right now. They were obviously okay running 3 goalies for the bulk of the season. Kochekov's done for the year. Anderson's been brutal. He's also usually hurt, and they're trusting Brandon Bussey right now. I think there's a shot that Carolina would claim him. And what is going on in Ottawa with Linus Ullmark? Because he's still not around. He's on this mysterious leave. They're running with Merrilainen and Sogard, 2 guys, 25 and under. I think there's a chance Ottawa would claim Pickard. So I don't hate that idea. I haven't really thought of it all that much before, but now that I kind of go through the exercise, it's like, yeah, keeping 3 goalies till the Olympic break probably makes sense for the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah, it can be an issue. Especially in a time where, that's the one thing, and we said it when he got traded, the one advantage Skinner brought you was availability. He's always there, right? He had the one concussion, which to me is not really an injury, right? Like some guys are just, I got a knee, I got a hip, I got a shoulder. Skinner's never had anything. He got ran over once and missed a few games due to concussion. That's it. So he's been very healthy in his career. And now that's not the reason you keep a goalie all the time, but it just creates the need to have a better number 3.
Yeah, and again, if you were to risk Pickard to waivers and he goes, what happens February, whatever, if Jari goes down or he needs a couple of games off, you would be in a world of hurt at that point. You'd be really dealing from a position of weakness, trying to find another goalie somewhere, unless you're willing to roll the dice on Matt Tompkins from the American League, which I don't think you should be. So yeah, the 3 goalie thing, I'm on board with that. And again, if Mangiapane's gone, Henrique and LTIR, whatever it is, you don't have the salary cap crunch at that point. And then, once you maybe get to the Olympic break, you make a decision at that point, because there is some incentive. I was talking about this with Hart yesterday. If you can get out of LTIR space by that Olympic break, if you have Mangiapane off the books, your cap, Hart said, will actually accrue during that 3-week roster freeze. So if you can be sitting, and I even joked, Savoy and Howard don't need waivers. If the Oilers were to send down a couple of the guys who are eligible to go down, bare bones it, you could have a decent amount of cap space by the deadline.
Well, I don't think they would do it for a guy like Savoy. Usually teams don't do that because he's been with the team the whole year. But Ike Howard, 1,000%. If that ensures that you don't have to put guys on LTIR, then, you could easily do that. And for sure they would do it, because there'd be no reason not to. So, Stillman obviously will go down once Wallman's healthy. So that's an obvious one. There's no one else that you're going to do on that regard, but you could do it with a guy like Isaac Howard. Plus, you know what? He's a rookie. You know what? He can keep playing. He hasn't been in the NHL all season long that he gets that rest. Now, maybe they will, but I wouldn't be stunned if they use that. And you can have the conversation with them, say, this is why we're doing it. Yep. Benefits our team. You get to keep playing, right? Because a young guy probably doesn't want 3 weeks off at that phase. He'd probably rather be playing.
Yeah, the joke I made with Matt Savoy, because there is the new rule where you can't just paper transaction him. I kind of said, if I was the Oilers, I'd say, hey, like you said, outline it. This is why we're doing it. It's going to help our cap space come the deadline. Go to Cabo or wherever you're going for 2 weeks. And on the way up, your flight, just go to Bakersfield. We need you to do 10 minutes the last game with the Condors. Get your game, and then you can come back up again. They probably won't do it because, as you said, he's someone who's been with the team all year. But it'd be interesting to see. They can maximize their cap space here, and they're tight to the cap. They might need to do that. There's a benefit to it.
Yeah. And I know that people are saying, hey, why not just keep Ingram at 9 games and then you can send him down. He doesn't require waivers, which is true. But if you look at the Oilers' schedule, so he's already played 5. If we say he's going to play LA, that's 6. He plays 1 of Nashville, Chicago, that's 7. 1 of Vancouver, St. Louis, that's 8. The Islanders would be 9. So then you need Jari to come back by the 20th for sure, if you want to do that. Unless you're going to run with Pickard 3 starts in a row. And, I'd be surprised if that happens. So I know that option is out there. And, maybe if Ingram's ready by the 17th or 18th, Jari is ready, maybe, but I'd kind of be surprised by that. So you couldn't do it at the break, because by the break, he'll have played 10 games and will require waivers.
Well, and the other thing I'd say to that is, if you think Ingram gives you a better chance to win games than Pickard, then don't get cute with it, I guess, right? If you think he's your guy, then you need to play him. And again, we've outlined it. You can, as long as Henrique's on LTIR or Mangiapane's gone, you can kind of have your cake and eat it too, and just keep all 3 goalies for the time being, and maybe even post deadline if you want to hold on to them for that long.
Switch gears very quickly. Do you think the Jays are going to get Tucker?
Man, when they signed Okamoto, I kind of started to wince and go, okay, you can play him at third. Maybe they view him as like a super utility guy. I know that
He
report.
is. He's probably his best defense position's first. So he's going to be the guy when Vladdy doesn't play first, who plays first too.
So, whatever infield spot he kind of takes, like it seems less likely that it's Bichette, but just reading the reports, like I know Mitch Bannon had a piece up at The Athletic that's like, no, the Jays still are pretty committed to spending right now. I don't know. Kyle Tucker, I'm not one to usually read into stuff like this. Kyle Tucker was at the TGL golf event the other day, sitting with George Springer up close to the field. And there's been a bunch of Jays who are commenting on Kyle Tucker's Instagram posts. Like, I don't know. It seems like there's a decent amount of smoke there.
They're courting him is what that sounds like.
Yeah, they are. I mean, I really think they are. I think the Jays, I think the players would be excited, obviously. So I think there is a legitimate chance that they land him. Like, we know how much money, or we have a pretty good idea of how much money that World Series run was worth to Rogers. And another interesting thing, there's been a lot of drama over the last 12 months with the local TV networks in the States and their relationship with their MLB clubs. Like, a lot of MLB teams have lost their local TV deals. It is worth so much that Rogers, who owns the Blue Jays, owns the TV network, has their own TV rights. Like, that all goes into how much money they made off that run. Like, those World Series broadcasts were some of the most watched sporting events in Canadian history. Like, they have a lot of money and they should be heavily, heavily incentivized to make sure next year's team is fully capable of running it back. And also, you sign Tucker this year, and next winter, Springer's off the books. There's a whole bunch of money off the books next year. They can absolutely make it happen.
All right. Ty, have a good one, buddy.
Yep. See you, Greg's.
That's Tyler. Your Remchuk from Oilers Nation and Daily. Face Off, we will return. We got 5 questions, spec, and more Tyson Nash joining us and more on a busy Wednesday edition of the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
New Year's resolutions. We all make them. We all say we're going to start eating healthier or going to the gym or starting that new hobby. But at GS Construction, we actually follow through on our New Year's resolution because it's the same every year. We promise to set the groundwork, literally, for another year of progress and growth. And we've stuck by that resolution since 1974. So start that all-you-can-eat diet. GS Construction is going to start planning right now for the year ahead. For more on what we do, visit gsconstruction.ca.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocentre.com today.
I skipped breakfast this morning. Stay out of my way.
Don't threaten me with your bad choices.
No worries. A booster bar from Booster Juice will fix me.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, because they're new. Snack-sized bars packed with seeds, pecans, gluten-free oats, all sorts of good stuff.
That sounds lovely, actually.
2 different flavors to try, too. Coconut pecan booster bars and harvest booster bars. Want to skip breakfast with me?
I take it back. You make good choices.
Booster Juice, Canadian-born, blending since 1999.
From the locker room to your radio, Sports 1440 is Edmonton's sports leader. Real talk, big personalities, and your texts. It's interactive. It's fun. It's where Edmonton talks sports. Sports 1440.
Help your body manage stress with Cannabis Sativa Seed Oil Plus. This liquid formula is fortified with nutritional yeast, providing B vitamins for stress reduction and probiotics for intestinal health. Find it at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month.
Did you know The Brick is proudly Canadian-owned and operated? We started right here in Canada over 50 years ago. Now, our 5,000 team members are proud to be your neighbor in more than 200 communities across Canada. And we support all Canadians with a growing selection of quality-made Canadian products and manufacturers. Nobody knows more about furnishing Canadian homes at the guaranteed lowest price than us. The Brick, saving you more.
Visit thebrick.com and use our store locator to find a brick store near you. You know, this year I can't decide what to work on for my New Year's resolution. My confidence, my appearance, or my general happiness.
Why not improve all 3 by finally addressing your hair loss? Hi, I'm Dr. Vancelia. Receding hairlines and bald spots can chip away at your self-image, make you look older, and feel unattractive. Let's discuss your options for regaining a full natural head of hair and make this the year you get your mojo back. Book a free first consultation today at drvancelia.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Riverside Honda, 59 years and counting, as St. Albert and surrounding areas' premier Honda and Can-Am dealer. It's your dream. Ride it at riversidehonda.com.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by playalberta.ca.
.445, Gregor, Hallie, Declan Kruger slugging it out. Is battling a cold right now. It's a cold 2 or 3. Kruger, nothing. It's been knocked down a few times. Just keeps trying to get back up. He's like holding on to the ropes. Got wobbly legs. Not sure he's going to make it. We'll see. We'll see. Connor Hallie wearing a full body armor suit. Hopefully not getting sick. Sitting beside him. It's comical to watch. Let's get to 5 questions now. Brought to you by our good friends at The Brick. You've got a few more days. You can. They still have the Boxing Week deals clearing out, where you can get huge deals on 60% off clearance appliances in store. You can save up to 25% off bedroom and dining furniture, free local delivery on 50-inch TVs or larger, and you can save up to $1,900 off of sofas or sectional. Good time to shop at The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, Jason, question number 1. Connor McDavid absolutely dialed in right now. When you think of these 3-4 week stretches, can you recall any other athlete being this productive?
Well, like in recent memory, you mean, or in my lifetime?
Whenever you want, anytime you got.
Well, honestly, I don't think it's like, I thought McDavid in the playoffs in 2024 was pretty ridiculous. That was the playoffs, right? But yeah, like McDavid, like in the 2021 season, that stretch of down the stretch, his last 20 games was really good. But yeah, this one, probably because it's 5 years later, and that's why Chuck would be, oh yeah, remember early in the season, Cons? Remember how many texters we had? Oh, guys, McDavid's injured. His best days are behind him. He's never, and I'm just like, what are you talking about? And magically, they've quieted down on those. So yeah, it's been a while to see someone this dominant, right? I thought Jonathan Taylor for the first 6 weeks of the NFL season was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, total homer pick here, but LT in his MVP season, I think he had 23 touchdowns in a 9-week stretch. He was just crushing it, and that's what really propelled him to get that MVP. So that would be the one that stood out for me. Watching that as a younger guy, being a fan of the Chargers, he was just unstoppable. So it was fun to see. But McDavid, dialed in right now. Question number 2 for you. We've heard a lot of people mention Kasperi Kapanen and how good he is, how good he looks, especially at practice. If he finds consistency, what do you think his ceiling is as a player?
I think he could be his ceiling would be, I think, a solid second line player who could score you consistently 24 to 28 goals. And 1 year maybe pop it up higher than that. And it's hard to get higher than that because he's not going to be on the power play, right? Now maybe on the second unit, but I like Kapanen a lot. Like I think people would be surprised. Like Kapanen, not only does he add speed, he adds a lot of size. Like he is thick. Like if people walked in the room and you looked and you see, okay, here's Savoy and here's Howard and here's Mangiapane, like, Draisaitl's a big, thick guy. Trent Frederick, then Kapanen. Like Kapanen is really, and he skates. So he's got a lot of things that he can bring to the table.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, not top line, but top 6, second line winger. I think if he finds his consistency, which has been the knock on him, that's where he fits. He saw what he can do last night, and can he do that? Night in, night out. We'll have to wait and see. Also, congrats to him on becoming a father within the month here. Question number 3 for you. This one came into Fantasy Frenzy, so I want to ask you as well. Is there a better top line in the NHL right now than the Oilers? And if not, who's close?
Well, Colorado. McKinnon, Natchez, and Lehkonen. You kidding me? They're better. All you got to do is look at their goals for against. So to me, that's an easy one. Like, this line's been hot right now for sure, but you got to go all season long, and Colorado's top line's been ridiculous.
Yeah, that was one I threw out there as well. Right now, I mean, hard to argue with what the Oilers are doing, but big sample size entirety of the season. Can't really argue with you on that one. Question number 4 for you. NFL playoffs get going this weekend, and give me one lock and one upset special.
Go ahead.
I mean, the lock for me, and I know they lost earlier there in the season, but I think the Rams will get the job done. When they head out to Charlotte to take on the Panthers, it's going to be the Saturday 2:00 game. And if we're going for an upset, technically the Bears are underdogs. And I really like what they've done this season. That's been a team.
What do you mean technically they're underdogs?
Well, they're underdogs, even though they're 11-6, a better record. They're at home. They're the underdogs. Packers a 1.5 point favorite. So It's a small spread, but
Okay.
give me the Bears. And since I took the one with a very tight spread, give me the no, I can't do it. I'll shut my mouth.
Okay. Yeah, it's hard to go with the lock to me for sure would be the Rams, but because you picked, there's no one else I feel overly comfortable as a lock, so I got to get with the Rams. As far as an upset goes, Jacksonville.
I could see it. They're a tough team. I would if I had to give another lock, I think that Texans will get it done against Pittsburgh.
What about the 49ers?
It's gonna be a tough one.
Yeah,
So many injuries, but
yeah, I know, but Philly just hasn't looked good very
No.
much to me, and but they're defending champs, man. And it's until someone beats the champs, it's hard to pick against champs. It's kind of the way I look at it. So, but the 49ers have a really good chance to do it. I like their team a lot.
I'm with you. Yeah, it was a tough place to go to. Weather
Yeah.
might play a factor, but I think they have just as good of a chance as any. Final question for you. It was on this day in 1610 that Galileo discovered the first 3 moons of Jupiter. So I want to ask you, if there was a technology created, you could go explore the universe in a reasonable time. It's not going to take you decades to get to Mars or whatever. Reasonable time. Would you go explore
How long
space?
does it take you to get to Mars?
Let me look it up.
It's a
here.
few months, isn't it? I think it's 4 months, something like that. I don't know, but
6 to 9 months.
6 to 9. Okay, even more than I thought.
But
Wow.
some journeys could be faster, 4 to 8 months.
All right. So where would I want to go in the universe?
And you would do it? You'd
There's
be
lots
into
of
it?
there's lots of places, and I'd be could I just get a super plane and just travel to other parts of the world? Could I go to Australia in 2 hours? That would be awesome. There's so many places on Earth I haven't been to that I'd want to go first before I explore the universe. Where I don't even know what I'm exploring. I don't know what's out there. So there's lots of places I'd rather go on planet Earth first. And if I could get a special trip so I could go to Australia in 2 hours, Cons, sign me up.
Yeah, I mean, if we've got that technology to travel the universe, then I think we could probably get you to Australia in 2 hours. No, I have no desire. Seeing those celebrities and Bezos go up to the moon, I'm just so happy on the planet Earth. Having touching ground. I don't like flying, even in planes, as much as I used to. Just want to, keep it down here. Yeah, now, temptation, obviously, if, you can get to cool places and a little bit faster. But no, I'm safe here.
Okay, well, that's fair. I get it. So you wouldn't have been one of the explorers in the early days of man when they say, okay, who wants to raise their hand to go out across, see that mountain? I don't know what's on the other side. You get to go.
Or hopping on the Mayflower. Nope.
No, that wouldn't be you.
I'll be in Europe just hanging out. It's a long trip. I think I could get seasick as well. So I don't think I'd be in.
Yeah,
in
you'd
for
probably
that.
get seasick maybe the first bit, but then like anything, you'd probably just get used to it. It might take you a few days, right? A few upchucks overboard.
Those trips would have been just awful.
Yeah.
I don't know how long it actually took.
Yeah. Oh, it wasn't an easy trek.
10 weeks for the Mayflower.
Yeah.
Whew. 10 weeks at sea. I don't know.
Yeah. Wow. And some of those days on the sea aren't overly smooth.
No,
Sure.
not at all. No, thank you.
Have you ever been on a cruise?
Yeah, I went to Alaska.
And so, but like, what was your longest stretch where you're actually on the boat?
Oh, geez. Maybe 2 days, like a straight travel day.
Straight travel day, so 2 days.
And there was only one really bad where you were going across the current, and I had to go sit down. Felt a little nauseous. But other than that, it was pretty
So
smooth
when you
sailing.
sat down, like, did it go away right away?
No. I felt bad for probably 2 hours.
Oh, okay. But
Yeah.
you didn't upchuck or anything?
No, nothing like that.
Okay. The has Jordan Love, what's the status of him for this weekend? Have you seen it
He's
yet?
not on any injury reports, so
Yeah.
looks like he's good to go.
Yeah. So as I said earlier, Adam Henrique orders make it official that he won't be back until after the Olympic break. So they put him on IR now, and if they need it, they could flip him to LTIR depending on what happens. But ideally, in a perfect scenario, they don't have to put him on LTIR because they would like not to be in LTIR because then you can accrue cap space. So, but they would still, in order for that to happen, they'd have to move out a guy with the $3 million, and Mangiapane is the obvious answer to that. So we'll see. But let's get to the con man and a sports 1440 update brought to you by Northgate Buick GMC. And I want to say a big thank you to everyone in 2025. They helped feed over 500 families last year, and they're looking to do the same again this year. Thank you for your support. NorthgateGM.com.
The Sports 1440 update.
The Edmonton Oilers officially placing Adam Henrique on the IR. The veteran forward is expected to return following the Olympic break. On the ice tonight, 5 games. The Caps and the Stars, Flames in Montreal, Blues taking on the Blackhawks, Mammoth and Sens, and the Sharks in Los Angeles, sticking with the Kings. The team announcing today that Corey Perry has been designated with non-roster playing status. No further details were released. 40-year-old has 9 goals and 21 points in 35 games with the Kings this season. In the association, Toronto Raptors taking on the Hornets. Tip off 5 o'clock. You've also got the Wizards in Philly. Hawks will host the Pelicans. Magic take on the Nets. Spurs and Lakers and the Bucks heading to the Bay Area to take on the Golden State Warriors. In the WHL, Oil Kings and Swift Current meeting the Broncos. Puck drop at 6. And in the PWHL, you got Seattle taking on Boston. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet and former NHLer, Utah Mammoth analyst Tyson Nash. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
They're not just a grocery store. They're a butcher, a baker, a cafe, deli, rotisserie pizza, and restaurant, all under one roof. Loca Quality Market does food differently with 2 locations to serve you. Edmonton and Sherwood Park. Visit loca.ca.
At On the Rocks, the party never stops.
Check it out.
Mondays, bingo tunes.
Tuesdays, tacos and tequila.
Wednesdays, it's wings and karaoke.
Shake what your mama gave ya with salsa lessons on Thursdays and the best Latin DJs.
Plus, live music every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, along with DJ Kenny K.
Hold on, let's not forget $5 happy hour, 7 days a week.
Your bar, your party. You're On the Rocks.
On the Rocks.
Jasper Brav and 118th.
What a performance by Action Electrical today. Their projects team kicked things off, designing and building with unmatched skill.
Then the service team swoops in for those crucial repairs and maintenance. And don't forget the testing team, ensuring everything's safe and sound before the solar team scores with sustainable energy.
A complete team effort. Have Action Electrical bring home a win for you and your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Reduce joint pain and inflammation with Cannabis Sativa Seed Oil Gel Caps, packed with a perfect ratio of omegas 3, 6, and 9 to support optimal health. Find this vegan, gluten-free formula at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
Get the lowdown with Low Tide. Weekdays from noon to 2 on Sports 1440. He's seen it all and then some. From stats to stories, he breaks it down like no one else. Proud to be Edmonton's sports leader. Sports 1440.
Reduce joint pain and inflammation with Cannabis Sativa Seed Oil Gel Caps, packed with a perfect ratio of omegas 3, 6, and 9 to support optimal health. Find this vegan, gluten-free formula at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Did you know that Japa offers in-house and on-site service? Rain or shine, Japa's service department is here for you. Get a quote now at japamachinery.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 5 o'clock, a Wednesday afternoon, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you are having a lovely, lovely Wednesday afternoon. As always, the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website, casino, dealer, lottery, instance, you name it, they got it, including the Jason Gregor Show specials every day. Get those at playalberta.ca. Oilers in Winnipeg, or en route to Winnipeg. They'll take on the Jets tomorrow night. The Jets are struggling. They've only won one of their last 14 games. They have gone winless in their last 10, 0-6-4. They blew a 2-0 lead yesterday, then blew a 3-2 lead yesterday. They have gone just a complete penthouse to outhouse type of season for the Winnipeg Jets, unlike anything we've ever seen before. No team in the modern day NHL has ever gone from first to worst. The 1941-42 Rangers were first with 60 points back when they had a 48 game season. Then the next year they dropped all the way down to 30 points, and it's kind of the second most for a President's Trophy winning team. The Detroit Red Wings actually dipped 37 points, but here's the caveat. They went from 131 in 1996 down to 94 in 1997, but they won the cup in 1997. So they were pretty good. The Jets are at 116, and right now they're on pace for 70, which would be 46, obviously the largest drop ever. So, even if they get to 80 points, that's gonna tie them. But actually, no, that would be one fewer than the Red Wings. So this is uncharted waters for a team, and no one saw this coming. No one thought the Jets were going to be this bad. Most of us thought, okay, they'd have a little bit of a regression from 116 points. I thought, heck, they could lose 20 points and still be a playoff team. But 40? Come on, brutal. So. They'll be a hungry team tomorrow for the Edmonton Oilers. The Oilers have had a lot of success. They're 9-3 in their last 12 games in Winnipeg, but we'll see how they do. Let's get to the spec report now, brought to you by GS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialists. They're like the the checking line that doesn't get a lot of applause. You don't necessarily see if they have at the end of the night a good night, but they do. Get you running water, get the freeways moving. That's what they do at GS Construction. Is Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet joins us. Spec, good afternoon. How you doing, my man?
Yeah, if you live in Calgary right about now, you're looking pretty fondly at GS Construction, I would say. With all the stuff going on down there, man. Holy cow. That's the kind of job that no one ever notices what you do until you do it wrong. And then everyone's looking for your name and number.
Yeah, brutal. Absolutely brutal, no question about it. Let's start with last night's game against the Predators. They had long stretches where they were very good. They had that little hiccup, really, Spec. But other than that, pretty solid effort against a team who was playing their 7th game of a 7-game road trip.
Yeah, listen, Edmonton was better. Connor McDavid is just, like you can call him a one-man team. You can call him whatever you want. When he leads like that and people follow, the Oilers are, I'm not going to say unbeatable, but the next best thing. Like Connor McDavid, scores an early goal. Connor McDavid draws a penalty shot, right? And after that penalty shot goes in, all of a sudden the goals start coming and Nashville's like, oh, well, not tonight. It's the Connor McDavid show right now. And the Oilers have a decent team. They got to work on the guys that are following here a little bit. But with that kind of leadership, I don't know how you lose, Jay.
Well, yeah. Well, you can lose when you're super leaky defensively, but you know what? Yeah, he played well. Leon Draisaitl, 3 more points against the Preds. He's up to 42 points in his last 16 games. Like McDavid's, think about that. So McDavid's heater, which is 16 straight games, is 39 points. Draisaitl's got 42 and 16 straight against the Nashville Predators. Like it's just kind of uncanny how he's able to light up the Preds night in and night out.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you'd think that one coaching staff would somehow find a way to figure out how to shut a guy down. But listen, I got nothing. I got nothing to add on it. I've never seen one player beat up on one team like this for this length of time. Sure, for a couple seasons, but this been going. I mean, would you say 16 games? They only play them 3 times a year, Jay. Right?
Yeah.
So it's over 5 seasons now. We're into the 6th season.
6.5 years because remember they didn't play each other, and that's what I'm saying. It's crazy. Like lots of people change, and someone comes in, and Draisaitl's like, "Oh, here comes those little Predators. Here, kitty, 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 kitty." That's basically.
I think this streak probably started against Pekka Rinne, right?
Oh yeah, no, it did.
It started against Pekka, who was a
really good goal,
fantastic goaltender, and now it's moved on to UC Saros, who is. An Olympic level goaltender for the Finns. So I don't know. Listen, it's fun to watch unless you're a Preds fan. Then it's, Andrew Brunette said last night after the game, the head coach of the Preds, says, "Hey, if I knew how to stop it, I'd stop it. I don't know how to stop it."
True. It is. It's very true. Mark Spector joins us. Spec, Adam Henrique leaves after 2 shifts last night. He's placed on IR. He's not coming back. I'd mentioned earlier in the show he wasn't. I didn't expect him to return until after the Olympics, and then the Oilers make it official that he's not coming back until after the Olympics. So, Curtis Lazar is going to get an extended run here as a 4th-line center, and Lazar very quietly in his minutes when he's been in the lineup here the last 6 weeks, it's actually been pretty good.
Well. Curtis Lazar is a little bit in the same boat for me as, let's say, a guy like Kasperi Kapanen. In a different way, but the same way. And let me explain why. Curtis Lazar comes out of junior. He's a first round pick, right?
Yeah.
He's first round pick. And,
yes, he was by 17th overall.
Yeah, he's going to be a big goal scorer. He's going to be a first-line player, all that stuff. He starts rolling through teams. He starts figuring it out. Okay, well, you know what? I guess maybe I'll be a 2nd-line player. Maybe I'll be a 3rd-line player. And all that adjustment's hard. And it's hard to be a good player when you really don't, you're trying to, you think your role is one thing, but that's not what you are, right? Andrew Cogliano was a way better player when he dug in as a 3rd, 4th liner in Anaheim than when he was trying to be a 1st liner in Edmonton. And I think that's what you have now in Lazar. Lazar knows it now, man. He's going to stay in the NHL. He's going to be a 4th-line guy. He expects to be in out of the lineup. That's what happened when he signed here. Like, that was a deal. You're not playing every night. And he understands the role. He's happy in the role. Like, he's a cheerful, happy guy. You won't hear him crying about missing a game. And you got the very best version of Curtis Lazar probably that anyone in the NHL's had. And it's just timing. You just got him at the right time, the same way you got Kasperi Kapanen, who now realizes exactly what he is. So good for the Oil and good for Lazar, man. That line he laid on McDavid after Lazar scored last night, he says, "I'm coming for the next Molson Cup from you."
Yeah.
Like, that's just a guy that knows what he is and is enjoying the hell out of his life in the NHL right now.
Well, and your teammate, for anybody, listeners who don't know, when Lazar scored his goal, because McDavid had won the Molson Cup award before the game, for those that didn't.
Like anyone else ever wins it.
Yeah. Draisaitl's won it a few times, but yeah. And Lazar goes back to bench. He goes, "Hey, McDavid, I'm coming to get the Molson Award," which is a great line, right? Like, of course, McDavid's going to love it. And then I like what Lazar said. He goes, "I think he took it personally," because then he just kept playing better. So, credit Lazar. He was like, "Hey, McDavid, I'm coming for you." And but Lazar was also very honest about, hey, you know what? Every day in the NHL is a blessing. Yeah, I'm playing. Do I want to play more? Damn right I want to play more. I loved his answer. And then he said, "But hey, I'll take these minutes because there's thousands of guys who would play 6 minutes, 7 minutes a night in the NHL if you could do it." So you got to have that type of attitude. It's not easy, but Lazar's always been, Mr. Smiley, very positive guy. But I've actually, and that's why I made sure to ask him, he's looked quicker to me, Spec. And he admitted, he goes, "Yeah, like last year was a write-off. It took a while, but his last 6-7 weeks, he's looked much quicker and more effective than he did in the first month of the season."
Yeah, and listen, every championship team has a fourth line center that digs in and that you can trust and that can check and kill penalties and has the ability to cash a goal for you, in that tough playoff game when you need it most, man. When the 2 fourth lines are out there, like whether you're a Mike Pekka type or whoever you are, every great team has that guy. And if that's going to be Curtis Lazar on this team, like he's got first round pedigree. I get it. He's not a first line player, but he could be that guy on my team any day. He skates real well. And like you say, I think he's skating better right now. He's smart. He's well liked. He'll block a shot. He'll do whatever it is to stay in the league, man. I'll have that guy on my team every day as my fourth line center.
Yeah, he wins some faceoffs. He's played well. Do you think it's Frederic or Mangiapane? It's got to be Frederic, right? Who comes in tomorrow for Henry?
Probably. I mean, what are we doing here? Do you need you don't? I guess you're bringing in a winger. Either guy's a winger. So
yeah, Lazar. They're gonna play with Lazar and Janmark. So they're gonna be, you're gonna be on the right side. Frederic says he prefers the right side. Mangiapane's obviously play the right side. So, but I think it's
one of them.
Yeah.
I can't tell you which one it's going to be. It's going to be, you know what? If there's another general manager that sends a scout to watch Mangiapane play and Bowman's got a trade maybe for him, it's going to be Mangiapane. If none of that's going on, it's probably going to be Frederic. So, I mean, I don't know which one they'll play, but I have a feeling that the coach will check with the GM before he makes a decision.
Yeah. I'm not a big believer in the showcase thing. Like, goes in there, guy has an okay game. This is the opposing GM. Yeah, see, there it is. That's his game. Now we're going to trade for him. Like, I don't know. I think
no. But if you're trading for my guy and you go, you know what? I wouldn't mind having a look at that guy one more time before we make this deal. I'd like to see him. And I'm sending my top guy down to see him. What am I going to do? I'm putting him in my lineup, buddy. I'm not showcasing them. I'm giving you a chance to look at my wares that you're talking about buying. Right. So,
yeah, possibly.
I'm just saying there's a possibility that happens too. But either way, we're quibbling over a fourth line winger here, buddy. I'm not sure it's going to matter that much.
No, probably not. They go into Winnipeg, Spec, and the Jets. I don't know if you saw into the post game reaction. Like they blew a 3-2 lead, and players like. And Cole Perfetti, I thought, was right. Like the Jets have played games where they should have won. Like they're a team right now that can't win, and that's why you're in the basement of the NHL.
Yeah,
they shouldn't be there. Like I think they have more skill than some other teams with more points. But and then the Oilers go into Winnipeg, and the Jets can't beat them on home. Edmonton's 9-3 in their last 12 games in Winnipeg.
Well, and look at the last time Edmonton was in there. Winnipeg totally outplays them and deserves to win like 10-1, or not, 5-2, whatever. Like they were way the better team, and Edmonton gets the 2 points, and now Vegas comes in, and Winnipeg's leading for a huge chunks of that game, and Vegas walks out with the 2 points. They're that team right now, the Jets. They've lost their way a bit. They can't figure out how to win. They're making key mistakes at key times. If I'm the Oilers, I just want to play them and beat them and get out of Dodge before they figure it out. Because when I look at that Winnipeg team, I think I probably you and every other guy I know had them as a playoff team this year. And the fact they're sitting in last place in the league, it just doesn't square for me. So I want to play them now and then get the heck out of Winnipeg and never play them again, because they are going to figure it out at some point.
Yeah. Well, that's true. You would think so. Although, you know what? When the season's lost, why figure it out and then finish, eighth best chance to win the pick? But you can never ask players to lose, and I don't think the Jets are going to finish in the bottom of the Western Conference, right? I think Vancouver and Calgary, two teams probably better suited to finish there. I put Chicago in that boat as well, even Nashville still. But the Jets have, sometimes those spec, you can't stop the bleeding. And right now it's become a gusher for them.
It's a gusher. Yeah. Yeah, it's a gusher. Yeah. No kidding, man.
It is. It's not good for them at all. Some non-Oilers news per se, but young Szymanski has had a pretty good first year in North America playing down in Bakersfield. And I've talked to Keith Gretzky a few times about him. It's not just points for Szymanski, right? Like, he's got 25 points in 32 games, which is very solid for first year. He's a 23-year-old player, but he's big and strong. And, he projects to be a bottom six center if he's going to play in the NHL. And I do think Szymanski, there's a part of the reason why, they put Noah Philp on waivers, because they're like, hey, you know what? We think we got a guy here who can just do just as much, maybe better, who's 5 years younger, right? At the end of the day. And, like, I noticed Phil played like 7 minutes in Carolina the other night, despite all the hang that Oilers fans had.
Hope he plays.
Yeah, I hope he plays too. But I look at man, he made Team Germany. And even if he gets in a few games, man, in the Olympics, like, what an experience for a young player.
Listen, I'm the first guy to say I carving up Stan Bowman these last couple of weeks for Mangiapane and Frederick. But there's a pickup way off the radar, some German kid that I remember Jim Matheson talked to Don Jackson, the old Oiler, right, defenseman who coaches over in Germany, when they first signed this guy, and DJ said, I don't know how good he is. Like, I've seen him play a lot, and I'm not sure he's going to be that good. And you know what? You got to give Stan and his European scouts credit where it's due, man. Like, this kid comes over, he's not only a first-year pro with that production in the AHL, which is incredible, but he's a first-year pro coming from Europe playing in the AHL, right? Like, that's a massive leap in level from one to the next. Like, it's so much to get your head around, and he's doing great. So he is totally on target to be an NHL player. Now, sometimes it ends. Sometimes you're an AHL player and that's all you are. Let's see what happens. But I'll tell you what, like, it's really impressive to be a kid that comes from the DEL and walks into Bakersfield and puts up those kind of numbers and is getting the respect from guys like Gretzky. Like, this is real good news for the Oil, man. This might be this might be a 3C down the road that plays a long time.
Yeah, I know. And hey, he's going to get to hang around a few weeks with Draisaitl in Germany, and Draisaitl is going to bring him under his wing because he's in the organization, right?
For
so
sure.
that just being, just to be there, I hope he gets to play a few games. That's really what I hope. Like, because they got 14 forwards, not everybody's a lock to play. Just like on Team Canada, there's going to be some guys that might not even play a game. We'll see. But
what does their lineup look like? How many guys do they have from the DEL and from Czechia and like that are playing in Europe? Mostly, aren't they?
Yeah, I would say the majority of them. You look at like their NHL guys are obviously like Draisaitl, Peterka, Reichel, Stützle, Nico Sturm. I think those are the NHL forwards, and then obviously on the back end, Seider, and then Grubauer in goal. But Dominic Cahoon and Tobias Reeder are on that team, right? Then there's some other guys, but Szymanski. You look at Michaels and Tuomi and Tiffels and Schultz, like these guys, he could battle with him. I'd have to look at kind of their projected roster. I'll talk to some guys in Germany because I don't know where all these other guys are playing, but I could see him probably slot in for a game for sure, minimum a game or two, but it'll still be a fantastic experience. The The only negative is I talked to Connor McDavid about it because, I'd asked him, like, when do you plan on going, right? Because the Oilers regular season, like they end on a Wednesday and games are still playing for a few days after, right? So they get their breaks a little bit earlier than some of the other teams by a day or two.
Okay.
So he wasn't sure when he's going to go over, but because I asked him, I said, like, are there other sports you're going to watch? He goes, man, like the hill and the skiing is like 6 hours away.
Yeah, it's really spread out.
Right. Like it's really spread out. And so they're kind of they're almost in like separate little sections. And they're in the section with figure skating and speed skating. And then we got talking about short track speed skating. I'm like, dude, go watch it live. Like, you watch it live once, you'll be like, I kind of joked with him about, dude, you should just, like, you're an unreal skater. Like, you should try one day, like, obviously not in season, about those skates, right? Like a speed skater skate, and just, get a different feel for it. But that's the one sport. It's too bad. Like, it's not like some other ones where, it's a little bit closer where you can go to lots of different venues.
Yeah, it is. That's what my colleagues who are going over are telling me the same thing. You'll go live out somewhere and cover the sports near you. I've been fortunate to cover 4 Olympics, and for the most part, some, like a Winter Olympics always is divided, right, Jay? There's the high up in the mountain sports, and then there's the down in the city sports.
Yeah.
But usually, like I was in Turin, and the high up in the mountain sports, there was all kinds of them all close to each other. And then down in the city, you get to anything you want, like all the curling and figure skating and short track and long track, all that stuff. So the thrill of going to Olympics, even when you're Connor McDavid, the thrill is to, go off on an off night and go watch something. I used to go watch Dave Stubbs from the Montreal Gazette took me to see the super heavyweight weightlifting one time. And I watched a guy set a world record, some Iranian cat in Greece. He lifted the most weight any human has ever been recorded lifting. Like it was like 540 pounds or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, it was the coolest, hippest thing. I'll never forget watching him lift that bar over his head. It was like a piece of licorice. So the point is, it's a thrill to see you don't just go to the Olympics for your sport, but you know what? I think just to get back to Szymanski, like, remember, Jay, all these guys are playing around Europe. The AHL is every bit as good as most of those European leagues, as probably all of them.
Yes.
Better than the German league. So if he's getting almost a point a game in the AHL, he can certainly compete to play for that German team, get ice time.
No, 100%. I agree. And I think that would be like just the opportunity to get in some of those games. And, it's almost like you're getting a recall because you're playing all NHL players and you're playing the best NHL players.
Oh, yeah.
It's not, you're like, it doesn't matter if you're playing Canada's 4th line, USA's 4th line,
whatever.
These guys are pretty good players. So
would be great experience for a young player, man. Great experience.
It'll be massive if he gets into some games. So hopefully for his sake he does. It would be pretty fun. Spec, good chatting with you. We will talk a little bit more Jets tomorrow. Pickard probably in goal. I would think Frederick comes in the lineup, and we'll see if the Oilers can win in Winnipeg for the second time in 10 days.
Well, they might win 2 in a row, but they never win 3.
Hey, Spec. The St. Louis Blues, if they win in Chicago tonight, the Oilers will be the last team skating, looking for a 3-game winning streak.
Dare to dream, buddy. Dare to
dream. Dare to dream. Have a good one. That's Mark Specker. The Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction. Quick break. Tyson Nash will join us. We are going to talk some NHL and the Mammoth. They're getting the big outdoor game, the hairstyle, and more. Also, an off-season job that Tyson Nash had. Does he remember it? We'll discuss it next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Action Electrical's projects team takes the field, folks, ready to execute the entire play.
They're masters of design, build, sketching strategy, from initial blueprints to core electrical infrastructure. The team never misses on complex projects.
Known for handling big league constructions and major renovations, ensuring flawless execution, hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Help your body manage stress with Cannabis Sativa Seed Oil Plus. This liquid formula is fortified with nutritional yeast, providing B vitamins for stress reduction and probiotics for intestinal health. Find it at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month.
The new double cheesy melt at McDonald's. We're talking 2 juicy, mouth-watering 100% Canadian beef patties, 2 slices of cheesy goodness with even more melty, cheesy sauce on top. Topped with pickles, then crispy and grilled onions. The way it all comes together, you don't just eat it, you melt into it. The double cheesy melt, only at McDonald's. For a limited time only at participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
Hot coffee, hotter takes, and the sports stories that matter. Check out Kevin Carrion weekday mornings from 7 to 11 on Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440. Be part of the conversation. 833-401-1440.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV. This is the time of year people make their New Year's resolutions. If they're lucky, they'll keep that up till February. So I propose another resolution. This year, resolve to be camp ready. Now, what do I mean by that? At No Bull RV, camp ready means never wondering if your RV will be ready for May long weekend. You know it'll be ready because you made the decision back in the winter. You know, now.
Is Camp Ready something I can get from No Bull RV?
That's right, Bob. Camp Ready is our 12-month RV maintenance plan. It includes winterization in the fall, startup in the spring, roof assessments every year, and all your scheduled maintenance. So when you want to get to the great outdoors, you already know you're Camp Ready.
How do I get to be Camp Ready, Rick?
We're starting small, Bob. Just 100 Camp Ready plans are available at No Bull right now.
And that's No Bull.
NoBullRV.ca.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great, but you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium one-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular menu price. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's with a $6 one-top medium when you order any large specialty at regular menu price. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Legacy Heating and Cooling offers no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. So, when you wake up to no heat,
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
if you need it immediately with no overtime rates, if you need it immediately and want to combo it with AC,
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. It could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Get the lowdown with Low Tide. Weekdays from noon to 2 on Sports 1440. He's seen it all and then some. From stats to stories, he breaks it down like no one else. Proud to be Edmonton's sports leader. Sports 1440.
I'm tired of waking up tired.
Waking up tired.
Are you tired of waking up tired? Come visit our sleep experts at the Brick Mattress Store. Get Canada's guaranteed lowest prices on all things sleep. Plus, try your new mattress for 6 months. If you don't love it, we'll find one you do. Some conditions apply. Stop waking up tired. Get the right mattress guaranteed. Only at the Brick Mattress Store.
Portions of this hour brought to you by EUL. Get your power play amped up with EUL, supplying the City of Champions and Alberta with quality electrical gear since 1975. EUL.ca is your partner in power.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Rolling through Wednesday afternoon, some a little association going on in studio today as the Raptors taking on the Hornets. And man, the Raptors have had a little bit of an up and down season, but they still find themselves in a pretty good spot in the Eastern Conference, sitting in 4th place at 22 and 15, as after their previous 10 games wasn't good. They rebounded and won 6 of their last 10, and a game tonight that they should, in theory, win. Logan Thompson, whoo, mama. You're taking on the Dallas Stars, who are really struggling, and he's not going to like that first goal at all tonight as Lindell threw a muffin at the net, went right through, and then Faxa bangs home kind of the empty net goal. And the Stars, who have lost 6 in a row, have a 1-0 lead in Washington. As I mentioned, the Blues are in Chicago looking for their 3rd consecutive win. If they get it, the Oilers will be the only team left in the NHL without a 3-game winning streak this year. It's wild. It is wild. They can lead the Turtle division, but not have a 3-game winning streak. It's kind of crazy. Let's get in the room now, brought to you by Action Electrical. They're residential solar. They've installed more than 300 residential solar installations. You can get a 10-year interest-free loan, paybacks between 6 to 8 years or better. So if you're looking to save some money long-term, check it out, actionelectrical.net, as we are joined by former NHLer, ace analyst for the Utah Mammoth, Tyson Nash joins us. Nasher, how you doing?
What's crack-a-lackin'? How you doing, buddy? It's been a while. We got some good news to share. I like it.
Oh, you do have some good news. That's a pretty big deal for Utah. Big announcement today.
Oh my God! You know what? It just shows you, right? I mean, I think I was in Arizona, and listen, don't get me wrong. I love Arizona to death. I want a team to come back here. I want all the things, but when you don't have great ownership, you don't get rewarded with an outdoor game. It's just that simple, right? It's taken Ryan and Ashley Smith a couple years, and they've been given just a wonderful gift. It doesn't get any better. I was with the organization in Arizona for I think 18 years as a broadcaster and as a player, and we never got a sniff, not even a sniff of an outdoor game. So happy for obviously the fans of Utah. They deserve it, and obviously the great owners of Ryan and Ashley.
Now, have they announced where it's going to be played at, Nasher? Like, are we going to have like a backdrop of the mountains there? Is this going to be like scenic? Where are they playing?
Yeah, I mean it's ridiculous. Now I don't know Utah super well. The name of the stadium is it's all over online, but outside of that,
it's where the Utes play football, right? The Utah Utes, that stadium. Pretty sure.
I believe so. And the backdrop is insane. Like I don't know if there's been a better, outdoor setting, to be honest. I mean, I fly into Salt Lake and I pinch myself. I'm like, are you kidding me? This is absolutely insane. Like, you're surrounded by mountains. You got Park City and Deer Valley 30 minutes away. And downtown is just booming right now. So you couldn't ask for a better obviously backdrop with the mountains and the skiing and everyone who comes in to watch this game. I mean, you're going to be introduced to just an unreal city that I don't think a lot of people know a lot about, right? I certainly didn't when I showed up in Utah and Salt Lake, and I have just been blown away. I mean, the airport, you're 7 minutes downtown to the rink from the airport, and I mean, like I said, 30 minutes to Park City and Deer Valley, and I'm not sure there's two better places on the planet than that.
Now, before we get to hockey talk, Nash, we're going to see how good your memory is. Do you now, when a younger Tyson Nash, off season, where I never knew, like, maybe I shouldn't be surprised you were a grinder on the ice. I didn't know that you were like a grinder off of the ice, helping build, like, putting in windows and gazebos at the winter residence.
Who told you that scoop? Oh my God, that's a classic story. I'll never forget. I'm sitting there, and Rich Winter, just an unreal human, like unreal dude. And I end up getting his job through a friend of mine because I never made enough money like playing hockey, right? Like, even when I made the pros, I think I was making 30,000 Canadian living in Syracuse, New York, playing for the Vancouver Canucks farm team back then. So I delivered pizzas in the off season to make money at Pizza Hut. And then I worked at this solarium place that my first job, I'm up on the roof, like 50 feet up on this massive, beautiful home. And I'm looking down, and there's people having breakfast at the kitchen table, and it's Rich Winter. I'm like, oh, hey, how are you? My career's not going so well. Can you help me?
Oh yeah, no. Well, Rich, we do a business and sports segment every Wednesday. When he saw that you're on there, he's telling me I was dying laughing about it. So he's like, I wonder if he remembers that. I'm like, oh, I'm pretty sure he'd remember it, Rich. So that's a classic.
I don't. I think he approached you because the thing's probably still leaking. They sent me over there to fix the leak. There's no chance I knew what I was doing.
Oh, well, that's what he said. He goes, Nash actually did a pretty good job. So there he was complimenting you. So you know what? When you're done broadcasting, maybe you could go back in the gazebo fixing business. You never know. So that would be our solarium, whatever it was. That'd be good. Now, the other thing, Nash, I do have to talk about, because of course you were doing the prime game last Monday, the Oilers and the Jets, and I was actually in my son, the hockey team I coach, so I'd recorded the game and watched it later. But I noticed online, like, man, you were just taking strays all over. It's like Struddy was sending out bogeys to people commenting about your hair. Like, they were very concerned about all the product that was going on in that thing. What's happening?
I took so much abuse. My phone was popping off, and I forgot to turn my ringer off. So it was just like ting, ting, ting. Jerome McGinley was like, "What is that? A dead beaver pelt on your head?" And of course, Strutt.
Oh yeah.
He's the last guy that should be making fun of anyone's hair right now. Let's be really. I'm just happy I have hair right now.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a midlife crisis. I'm not sure, but I got the reverse mohawk going.
Oh,
so
buddy.
Anything to take away from the nose, Greg.
Oh, buddy, you know what? Because I hadn't seen it, because I wasn't. So I'm like, actually, I don't mind that at all. Like, I'll chirp a guy his hair, I kind of don't mind it. So I was curious. Now that I hear is Struddy and some other guys, it makes sense, right? The power alleys. There's no, like, he doesn't do it because he would have a comb over, right? That's why he can't do it. So it'd be a little bit different.
Tell him to shave that thing off. Oh, my God. Like, he's hanging on by a thread. The comb over, when the wind blows right now in the winter, it just flops right to the one side. It's embarrassing.
Yeah. Now, let's get to Tyson Nash joins us. Talk a little bit about the Mammoth. And you know what? They obviously, like a lot of teams, they're itching to get in the playoffs, right? And they're right there. They're two back of the Kings and the Sharks and the Ducks. And, and they've been kind of treading water without Logan Cooley. And that's what I said. I said, if Utah can stay within 2 to 3 points by the time Cooley comes back, then I think they can make a push. What do you have any ETA on when they think he might return?
You know what? I don't. I honestly don't. They're pretty tight-lipped about it. They certainly don't let us talk to them about it. The conversation's never really brought up. So we just, I go about my business. I try to keep this big nose clean. But I will say this again. This is a team that, with the schedule they've had, I don't know if there's a team, and I know everyone's complaining about the schedule because of the Olympics and playing every second night or what have you, but this team I think they played the most road games in the entire NHL. And right now, starting tonight, I think they play Ottawa, and they have 7 straight at home. So that is huge. And right now, for me, these next 7 games, they have to do some damage. They have to start climbing up in the ranks in the playoff picture. And then they have to, you just want to be in the fight. Greg, you know this better than anyone. You just want to be in the fight come end of March, April. You just want to be there. And I know there's a lot of teams that are there right now, but this is a team that, and then when you are there, that's when you have to start winning games. That's when the count. That's when the goals count, right? Like, anyone can win. And this is a team that's done this forever, back when they were in Arizona. They won when it didn't matter. All of a sudden, they're out of the playoffs and they go on a 10-game winning streak. I'm like, yeah, whoop-de-doo. Like, that's what losers do, right? So now, when you get there, and I think they're going to be there in the fight when it matters, that's when they need the Kellers and the Gunthers and the Coolies and the Sergachevs to really step up and do some damage. And I think they're more than capable.
Yeah, like that huge win over the Islanders to start the year, 2026, and then they beat the Rangers in overtime. And now you got Ottawa, St. Louis, Columbus, non-playoff teams. And those are some games you got to win. You got some tougher games at the end of the trip or at the end of the homestand. Toronto starting to play well. Dallas is good. Seattle, I don't know how the hell they're winning, but they're suddenly winning all the time at 8-0-1. And then even the Flyers have been a real pleasant surprise, I think, out in the Eastern Conference. And, they've got some things going for them. They had a good start. You're right. They played 26 road games. Edmonton's played a lot of road games as well, but 26 so far and only 17 at home. So they'll make it up here a little bit. Have you noticed, what's been the biggest improvement you've seen from Utah this year?
I think the biggest thing for me is that they're finding ways to win. And last year, they found ways to lose, right? You're not getting that point. You're not tying the game up late in the game when you're trailing, or you're not closing out, a game and not allowing a team to score that tying goal. So you're getting the extra point, right? Or you're getting a point. And I don't think that happened enough last year. And those points in those games, they come back to bite you and haunt you in the worst of ways, because you guys know the margin for error is just so small at the end of the schedule. It just is. So I think they're finding ways to win. And I think that guys like Gunther and Cooley and Keller and Schmaltz, these guys are big game players, and those are the guys that are starting to find their offensive touch in those moments. JJ Peterka has been a real nice addition. I think our defense core, and I think that they've been able to stay somewhat healthy is the other thing. Because every team goes through it, and every team goes through ups and downs and slumps. You guys know that better than anyone in Edmonton. I mean, it happens to the best of the teams, even with the two best players in the world. So the good teams, they just come out of it quicker. The good players, they come out of those scoring slumps quicker. They don't last as long. I mean, my whole career was a scoring slump. See, I couldn't figure out how to get out of it. But those good players, man, they just don't last.
Yeah, no, it's true. You want to get out of it as quick as you can, and that's why. And I think, hey, if they can take advantage of this homestand. And then Logan Cooley, when I remember the initial diagnosis said that, okay, that would probably put him where he's back after the Olympic break. And I think it probably hurt had he not got injured, I think he would have had a legitimate shot to be in that conversation for Team USA. Like he's been pretty impressive this season for a young guy. Like he's probably, like when healthy, Nasher, like he's the best pure player on their team.
Oh yeah. Like the kid is an absolute stud. I mean, listen, it's hard to compare because they're all so different in different ways, right? Like Cooley is he reminds me of Mike McDonough. Like he just gets the puck and just goes. That jersey flaps a little bit. He's flying. He takes it to the net. He's not afraid. Dylan Gunther, he's becoming a little bit more like that, but he's more of a shooter, right?
Yeah.
Loves to shoot the puck. I call him a poor man Steven Stamkos. This is going to score 40, 50. The sky's the limit for this guy. And he scores every big game goal that the Utah Mammoth need. And Clayton Keller, he does it a little bit, more from the perimeter. He doesn't have the speed like a Cooley. So it's an interesting dynamic, and they seem to have, a lot of different type of players, which is obviously very beneficial.
Yeah, no question. Lastly, you talk about all those road games, Nasher, and it can wear on guys. Because when you played, you went through, how beneficial is it going to be for players this Olympic break? Like how more refreshed are we going to see guys into March or late Feb?
That's a great question, because I talk about it a lot. Like I hate when people complain, and usually it's the media that complain about the schedule. It's a back-to-back. It's like we all play better in back-to-backs for the most part. You're just starting to warm up, right? It's the 3 and 4 nights that are tough. But this schedule is like nothing I've ever seen. And, that's a great point. And I think the teams that have the most guys going to the Olympics, I think it's going to crush them. I think it's going to absolutely bury them. And that's my concern with Utah. Utah has 4 guys going to the Olympics. That's a lot. Those are some of their best players, right? So when you come back, what's the letdown? Like now is when you need to turn it up when the Olympics are over, right? And if you're given everything you have, your body, your energy for your country, I mean, what do you have left in the tank for your team, right? And I think that's going to be the big question. And I think that is what I foresee happening anyway. I think the teams, there's some teams that have 5 or 6 guys going.
9.
That's
Florida has, Florida
I'd be
has
concerned.
9. Yeah, Florida has 9. Like I know Oilers fans are mad that's like Bouchard and Hyman. I was like, honestly, I think if you want your team to win the cup, it's better off. Like obviously McDavid and Draisaitl are going. And McDavid said it on After Hours. He goes, hey, because he admitted he kind of had a 2-week funk after the 4 Nations, and he goes, you know what? I'll take a 2-week funk to win a gold medal. And I understand that reason. It makes sense, and that's why the Oilers got to take advantage of their favorable schedule in January and give themselves a little cushion. So if indeed 97 and 29 are a little sluggish coming out of the Olympic break, that it's not going to kill them, right? But other teams won't have that advantage. And there's like Florida, there's 2 teams Can't remember who the other one is. Florida, maybe it's Tampa. Somebody, they have 9 guys. It's like half your roster, man. And the other thing about Florida, Nasher, their first half of the season, they played 41 games. They played 26 at home. They've only played 15 road games. And so they have all these road games coming after the Olympic break. It's going to be pretty tough for them. So I'm with you. I think when you add in both things, it could be better off for sure. So, Nasher, always good to catch up with you, buddy. I hope things are well. And good luck keeping. Now, what are you using, like hairspray? Is it mousse? What are you using there to keep the reverse mohawk going?
It's called, and write this down. I know you don't have.
No, I don't need it.
Maybe eyebrows. It's called, for all the listeners out there, it's called the Slick Gorilla. It's a white powder. It's a white powder. It is literally sent down from heaven. Like, this stuff is so good. Oh, yeah.
The Slick Gorilla. Oh, my God. That is so awesome. I might have to, buddy, next time you come to Edmonton, just pack some in your bag. I'll pay you when you get here, and we'll give it to Struds. I just want to see it.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Oh, man, let's go. We can maybe get those eyebrows.
Oh, well,
half of that 8-head he's got.
Well, will it work on his back hair?
Oh, you should see his butt. Oh, my gosh. It's nasty. I don't miss those showers. I can tell you that.
Thanks, Nasher, my man. Have a good one.
You too, buddy.
There you go. That's Tyson Nash. Jones. Oh, God. Yeah, I've had for beers with those too. Like, it is relentless. So funny. If they're not chirping, they're not having fun. Take a quick break. We'll come back, wrap things up on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Diamond Rides is one of Alberta's premier specialty charter companies. With our luxury motor coaches, we provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation services. Our seatbelt equipped top-of-the-line motor coaches have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel needs across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, contact sales at 877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
Think your credit's not good enough for a new ride? Think again. Go Auto's car loan calculator is here to help. No commitments, no credit hits, just real answers. You tell us a few things, and we'll show you what you can afford. Text credit to 780-777-7777. That's credit to 780 all sevens. Go Auto. We do the math, so you can do the driving.
Reduce joint pain and inflammation with Cannabis Sativa Seed Oil Gel Caps, packed with a perfect ratio of omegas 3, 6, and 9 to support optimal health. Find this vegan, gluten-free formula at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit fountaintire.com today.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork, made in Canada, made for Canada, where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
It is the final countdown, and I found a picture of Rice. I don't even know that. Is it Rice Eckley Stadium? I'm not sure the proper pronunciation of the last one, but anyway, man, the visuals from that for the outdoor game for Utah are going to be unbelievable. Like, it looks amazing. So that that would be a road trip for sure. That would be fun. I think really fun. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440 is always the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. I will say, yesterday we went 3 for 3 on our Jason Gregor Show bonus picks. We even had one where we went a little off the board. We went Draisaitl 3 points. Boom. We had Oilers win by 2. McDavid 2 points. Boom. We had another one. McDavid 2 points. Bouchard 1 point. Draisaitl 2 points. Hit them all. So I want to check them out. They're on a little bit of a run right now. playalberta.ca for the Jason Gregor show. Get some odds boosts going for that. We will get to the 2-minute warning now, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, home of the no payments, no interest for 1 year on your furnace. Stay warm all winter. LegacyHeating.ca. Here's Cam Tate.
Our week-long look at how amateur athletes are getting their stories covered by traditional and social media. Welcome to part 3 of 5. Picture this. A college volleyball player posts a highlight reel on Instagram. 24 hours later, a local restaurant calls. They want her face on their billboard. $3,000. Just like that. That's not a fantasy anymore. That's Tuesday. Here's the thing. Media coverage used to be a nice to have. A paragraph in the sports section. Maybe a mention on the evening news. Today, it's a paycheck. The numbers are staggering. Researchers found that an athlete's social media following and verification status can predict 83.6% of their growth trajectory. Translation? Your followers are your bank account. But here's the gut punch. Only 2% of college athletes go pro. 2%. For everyone else, those amateur years are their only shot at the spotlight. Media coverage becomes their retirement plan, their ticket to coaching jobs, broadcasting gigs, business opportunities. And it's not just about money. Half of amateur athletes say seeing themselves in media keeps them going. A teammate posts their training video? Suddenly, you're pushing harder. You share your victory? That dopamine hit keeps you hungry. Now here's where it gets really interesting. Women's sports get 5 to 10% of traditional coverage. 5%. So female athletes said forget the gatekeepers and built their own platforms, their own audiences, their own empires. The game has changed. Media isn't just covering amateur athletes anymore. In today's 2-minute warning poll, how do you think media coverage helps amateur athletes in their journey? 2.3% said encourages them. 6.8% said helps with self-esteem. 18.2% says encourages to be better. 73.9% says all of the above. Watch tomorrow for perhaps the most important Twitter question of this week. The 2-minute warning. Gregor, Hallie, Kruger, me, Tater, Sports, 1440.
It's definitely a different world now. There's more opportunities if you're looking for exposure, which is, you know what, that there is the business side of it, without question. I think it can be pros and cons, depends how much you look for it. If you start, it's like anything. If in athletics you cut a corner, it always catches up to you. I think at times it's overlooked that usually the ones who make it, health, big factor, but just the grind, the work out. And there's lots who do grind and put in a ton of work, and they don't make it because it's hard. Not everybody gets to. And it's no different than not everybody who graduates at your, with a business degree ends up running a successful business. Right? Not everybody who has a teaching degree ends up getting a teaching job that they want and that they love. Right? There's always competition. Right? Doesn't matter what. Hey, you go to Nate for radio and television. Not everybody gets the gig they want. Right? There's always going to be competition. So it's not like it's only in athletics. It's maybe talked about a little bit more. But there's anybody out there, tell me what degree you got. And you'll say, yeah, you know what? There's some people, not everybody got the same level of success. Sometimes it's the grinders, the harder workers, and sometimes who can definitely help. On behalf of Connor Hallie, Declan Kruger, I'm Jason Gregor. Sports 1440, The Gregor Show is always brought to you by playalberta.ca. Have yourselves a wonderful evening. Let's get to the con man. Sports 1440 update brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where the rates never change. All of a sudden, your furnace conks out late at night, on the weekend, call them. They'll come fix it. No OT. That's how you build a legacy. Legacyheating.ca. Good night.